We're rolling.
All right. Speaking of rolling,
Coming back now from, been weeks anyways, but a little lag in the podcast because of all the craziness coming on that everyone's going to hear about today. A lot of new shit going on. A lot of people don't know, but we sold our grow that we built out. I don't know how many years it's been. How many years? We just talked about it last time.
At least four.
Yeah. So it was when you started, we started building it. And we were kind of hanging out doing nothing one day, and someone come up and ask us kind of what we want for it, and
Right out of left field.
And we said the number, and they didn't gawk, and they basically asked us how quick we could get our shit out, and me being who I am thought it could be a lot quicker than it was, and that's why we haven't shot an episode in the last couple weeks. Pretty much it's been freaking mayhem.
Yeah, between moving shit out, trying to finish what was already going in Manchester, trying to also get a new building up and going, trying to line up contractors to do work while we're doing other work.
Yeah, so basically,
A lot of shit going on.
at first we were like, yeah, these guys are probably full of shit, so we're just going to keep doing what we're doing. Basically, keeping as many veg plants going as we can, keeping rooms going. And then it started getting real, and then as soon as it started getting real, they wanted it to get
Quicker.
there. It was like, yeah, pull plants into flower room 1. It's week 1. How quick can you get plants out? Can you finish the room in 4 weeks? And we're like, Jesus, like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
No. And then it's, back and forth. And then, I think we shot the last episode right about when things were getting real. I think I told Jake, like, probably can't shoot here much longer because got to get the hell out.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, they're doing it? I'm like, yeah, I guess.
So at that point, we had already pulled beds out of... Or no, we hadn't pulled beds out of 4 yet.
Right. Yeah, so...
We did it that next week, though. And that was a Friday. We shot that episode.
So... basically what we did is when we built our 4x4 raised beds, we mixed everything and then we shoveled them all into the room. So there was a standard doorway 4x4 bed, and we shoveled all the shit in there and then put all the plants in it. And now we're like, now we got to get these out with the dirt. But you can't, you can shovel the dirt out, but holy smokes. So we had to basically rip a hole in the wall and get everything out. It's still not completely out yet, but we kind of rushed and got everything out. So that's kind of been the whole transition, was starting to build this out here, the new place, and then getting that done. Basically, you were taking care of all the plants, which is usually a 2.5 person job is what I call it. And then I was over here fucking around with this, meeting with everybody and talking to everybody and organizing the deal. And so it's been kind of madness because you're moving into a house. We're doing all this, so...
Talk about last second. I was in the process of signing on a condo.
Yeah, you had an offer in on a condo, which was basically done. And then I was like, hey, how we don't like to do things conventionally? Do you want a house? What the fuck do you mean?
Yeah,
let's go look at this thing. And you're like, well, this is a little too nice for me, but I guess it will do. So, yeah, there's been a shitload of stuff going on, all good stuff. We were ready to get out anyways, just because the way things were going in Manchester were just, a lot of people don't know, I was the first person to go into the town office and ask, do you guys mind if I do this at my house? And they're like, oh, I'm glad you asked.
And this is in 2012?
I have no idea. It's just the first time I was nervous about it. And it's when I was still working with Tom, and I was going to put a 10-lighter in, and I said, hey, look, do you guys care? Well, the manager, Pat, was cool as shit. He's like, as long as you're up to board on everything, I don't care. Do whatever you want. And he's like, I appreciate you asking. And it went from that, they left me alone. Let me do whatever I wanted to do, and finally we, moved to the Randolph location that we had. And then I decided I wanted to come back to Manchester and do the big building. And he's like, yeah, no, that's great. Place isn't used for anything. I think it's awesome. Great to work with, you know. And then we started. Basically, we started that grow, and things started going really good. Like in Randolph, things weren't quite right quality wise for us to get where we needed to be. And then in Manchester, bigger veg room, bigger flower room, slowed everything down, the whole process down, really got quality nailed out. And then we started getting people's attention. And then that's when we started going down the road of we should probably do a frickin' store. And then we got involved with the store in Manchester, and that's when things started going haywire in town. Like, you know, I started getting treated different from the people at the town office that I've known my whole life, like not in a good way. And so, you know, that whole shit show went down. You know, a lot of people still don't know everything that went down, and I don't want to go too crazy about it, but basically the thing is the owner came to us desperate as fuck because he knew nothing about what was going on. And after we had a bad falling out before, not bad, but just a falling out before, round 2 comes in. And basically I was just like, I'm just gonna do this. I looked at you, I said, look, you're gonna you know how to run this shit. You're gonna run this shit. I'm gonna go down there and I'm gonna figure that out. Because that hasn't been figured out yet. The store thing hadn't been figured out.
Yeah.
And I kind of felt like shit about it because me and Bobby had talked about this for years. And I'm kind of like feeling him out, and then he's not giving me a whole lot. So I'm like, all right, well, you know what? He's not ready. So we'll just try to do this shit. Let's see what we can do. Go down there, you know, literally making $480 a week running that place, and built it. I mean, we built it to frickin' hell and high water. Granted, we didn't build it out. You know, they built it out. They made it look good. But, you know, every customer that we've ever had, we were like, if we're going to do this thing right, we got to push them through that store. Dudes we've been dealing with for 5 years, 6 years. You got to go to the store. We're going to treat you right there. But you got to go because we need to make this right for everybody. I can't be hustling ounces up on the hill while, you know, we're doing this store.
Trying to do a store legit. Yeah.
The right way. So everyone feels good about it. Because if 2 dudes are making side money and 1 dude isn't, you know, it would be kind of...
What are we even fucking doing?
Yeah, exactly. And then it just, at first, you know, we had a lot of feedback from customers. They're like, dude, this is the shit. Like, easy. We're coming in. We want good weed. We leave a good weed at a good price. Everyone's happy as fuck. And then feel things flipping to going towards, like, corporate mode and this and that and all the other thing, which I'm like, I didn't do this to be put in a box and be told what to do. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to be told that we can only make this amount, and, you know, we're overpaid people. And, you know, you could ask anybody out west, you know, you take me and you out west, you know, I'm not trying to say, you know, whatever, any cultivator in the state, and you bring them out to a grow, I mean, their salary is going to be probably $250,000 a year. I mean, low end 150. Mm-hmm. And we're making next to nothing, and we're being told we're overpaid. So I was like, we obviously, you know, nobody's seeing the value in the grow here, so we need to get the fuck out of this and just do it. It's going to be dirty. It's going to be gross. Things are going to go fucking crazy. But at the end of the day, it was like, they want to do things one way, I want to do things this way, and really wasn't really willing to budge at all. I know that's not what a team is or whatever, but, you know, in my mind, it's always, let's just do this the best way we can. Give local people good product for a very good price. Mm-hmm. I don't want to play the number game. I don't want to sell. Highbrow selling for 27, let's sell for 24. I don't want to get involved in that. No. I don't even give a fuck what Highbrow's doing. Right. If we're all taken care of, let's just keep running it.
Right.
And, you know, it was going, I would say, phenomenally for a while. And, you know, I was the one who said, we can't be open 2 days a week. We're going to be open 7 days a week, from 7 to 7.
From like 10 to 5.
I was like, 7, let's do this shit. You know, there was a while where I was there at 6.
Yeah.
6 to 7. Yeah, it sucked. But that's how we went from 300 in sales to 5,000 a day in sales. Like, That's doing pretty good. Granted, it's not what Jungle Boys are doing, but in Maine, you know, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, if you're hitting $3 to $5 grand at the overhead that place was running at, we're doing good.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got the fuck out of it. You know, basically we're just like, we're not going to deal with this bullshit because there's a lot of bullshit that went along with it. That, you know, we weren't reaping the reward.
No.
I mean, we were getting, you know, technically the store was getting more for our weed, but we weren't getting jack shit.
Yeah, it turned into a lot of miscommunication and no real conversations back and forth. Just us getting told we're overpaid. What do you mean?
Yeah, overpaid, and you know, it was just constant game. You know, there's like a triangle, and it was two guys against one, and you know, I'm like, dude, I don't fucking care if you guys don't get along, but if you both want to make the business good, there's nothing to argue about.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's like, I don't give a shit if someone comes into work every single day and doesn't want to ever hang out with me outside of work. Don't care. I don't care if he lives in a teepee. You know, I don't care.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. If he comes in and he's like, I get my shit done and I'm going to make it as best as I can. Hey, that's what the job is. So, you know, after that, we broke the fuck off. You know, like, meanwhile, getting into this whole business agreement, how many bridges we burned and people were pissed. You know, our guy that we had you know, Bill, the guy that basically he forked over
Trusted
hundreds of thousands of dollars to build that place out and was just like, pay me rent?
Yeah.
Oh, you guys want to buy it? Rent to own it. I mean, it was just, and then, you know, he was kind of like, well, if, you know, because in the very beginning, Bill was involved in the store.
Mm-hmm.
And then everybody split ways and then came back and we decided to do the store, but I was supposed to tell Bill that he wasn't allowed to do the store. And I'm like, this is going to get fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? This is fucked up. The whole time I'm like, no, not sleeping at night. Like, this is wrong. You know, if it's just money, give it, like, who cares? It's just not something you do.
It can be figured out.
It can be figured the fuck out. And then in the meantime, I'm like, I'm not entering into a deal when there's two dudes that know nothing about the industry. And then there's like me and my group that know a lot more. Like, one person has money and one person doesn't have anything and just says they're worth money.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm sitting there like, okay, well, if you guys want to take a third and split it, that's fucking fair. You know, because we were promised everything under the fucking sun.
Yeah.
Everything under the sun. And at the end of the day, it's like, stop promising me shit, dude. Because I haven't seen one fucking thing.
Nothing.
You know, playing the family card. Oh, it's going to change your family forever. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, dude, save it. I'm looking out for them. I don't need somebody telling me what's going to be good for them and what's not.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of little things like that. Like,
so
just throwing wrenches in places they didn't need to be thrown.
Yeah, just getting in, just a whole fucking load of shit. And then everybody thought that Reaper Ridge was the store. And to this day, people are like, you know, telling me that, oh, I go buy Reaper Ridge. And I'm like, whoa, you get it at Hive, right? Nope. I get it at Origins. I was like, they're not the same fucking thing. They're not the same thing. When our logo was put on that building, we weren't really asked about it. It was just put up, and I'm like, oh, cool, that's fucking cool, you know. You could have, you know, at least used the same logo, you not make your own one. Mm-hmm. And there was talk about one time making it that, but I said that's the smartest fucking thing. Is like, just make it a Reaper Ridge Farm store, or farm stand. That's the idea, and there's no confusion.
Yeah.
And then, so everyone was extremely confused and.
Well, and plus you were there running it for the first months.
Yeah.
I mean, it seemed like our store. It was mostly our shit. It seemed like our store.
Yeah.
And like you said, built by, I mean, no, you didn't build the fucking foundation, but the customer base foundation was ours.
And it was, to me, like, I don't give a shit. You know, if 10 people come in, that's it. I don't care. I want to retain 10.
Yeah.
I want to retain 10 every day. And that was my thing, is we were retaining people. People love that fucking place. It got to the point where I was like, dude, you guys can't hang out here all day. Like, I get it. Like, it's
a chill spot, but...
And I'm nice, and I'm not being a dick, and I'm talking to you and educating you about it. Like, a lot of people didn't have the education on the product. But, you know, there was dudes there 7 hours, and it's like, dude, you gotta go. Like, this isn't a bar, you know? Yeah. But that's the environment that we wanted to create. Yeah. It's like a place for everybody. Grandma can come in, you know, the young kid can come in. It doesn't matter who you are or how much you even know. We're not gonna be one of these stores that's like, oh, you don't know what gelato is? What the fuck is wrong with you? Right. No, it doesn't matter. It's like, that's a person to retain, because at every other store, she's not going to maybe know what THCV is or anything like that.
Yeah. Don't treat them like just a sales transaction.
And then we were going to do our own store, and we figured out very quickly, like, we cannot do all this shit. You know, 2 trimmers, 2 growers, 2 store owners, but there's only 4 people total.
Well, and that goes back to, like, what you said, the worth of the grow was not being respected by anybody. Mm-mm. It was this, oh, it's all about the store. The store's where all the money comes in. Well, guess what? If your shelves are fucking empty, there's no money coming in.
No.
That's what people are coming in the store for.
And, you know, lying to people just to get a quick 25. Like, when I was there, no, we don't have that. Like, my thing was, and I don't want to bash any lab, but I don't want any concentrates in there unless it's washed. Like, raw, like, that's the place that I wanted. It's nothing against nobody
washed
else.
In our product.
Yeah.
Not like just fill the shelves with whatever you got.
Yeah, so no carts, no sauce, no BHO, no slabs. I'm all set. Like, it's just something that I did not want to fuck with. I just wanted to be, but you want something else? Like, in that way, I thought we could work with other stores. Like, oh, you know, those guys have the best carts. Oh, those guys have the best edibles or shatter or whatever. You know, I thought it was too confusing. And at the end of the day, you look at the numbers like an intelligent human being, and you're like, oh, I sold 100 grams of oil, and, you know, you make $2 on every one.
Yeah.
Not worth a headache for me. I mean, I hate to sound like a dick, but, you know.
Well, and your thing from the start has always been grow the best weed.
Yeah, I don't want.
So if that's what you're focused on, then concentrates isn't that.
And
it's just not.
It's just like one of those things, and that's probably a reason why I shouldn't be in charge of a store or own a store. It's just because I don't think like that. I'm like, why am I wasting my time? Like, driving wherever you got to go to get them. You know, that takes up the $2 you make right there. Boom, gone.
Yeah.
So now I'm selling something, doing all the work. If it's shitty, our store, when it started, if you don't like it, maybe you're using me, but you're getting a replacement.
Yeah,
you didn't like that eighth? Fucking here you go. You know, it's like, if you really thought it was that bad, here you go.
Yeah.
Oh, why is this weed on the bottom cheaper? Well, you know, we tried the strain out, had seeds in it. You know, you get a quarter for $25. And they're like, shit, sign me up.
Yeah.
Seeds, who gives a shit?
Right.
And it was great. And that way we could work through all these different things, and then just everything would move.
And just that little bit of honesty, and, like, to me it came down to the changing the names thing.
Yeah, changing the strains. Yeah,
those little lies don't need to happen, and you're just creating more of a workload for you to keep up with.
Like this.
Oh wait, what? We had that strain? I don't even remember because I lied to you.
This kid taps me on the shoulder, and he's just like, dude, I want to tell you, I really love this, blah blah blah. And I'm like, hey, dude, not mine. You need to give props to whoever grew it. It wasn't me.
Yeah.
And he's like, dude, it was you. I was told it was you. I said, dude, it wasn't fucking me. And I went back and I told Zach, and he's like, dude, I can't believe you told him. I'm like, you can't believe I told him. You know me.
Yeah, exactly.
You know me. I'm not going to say that, oh, yeah. I grew that shit. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to say, whoever that was, it must have been X, Y, or Z. And that's the other thing is, I was asked to reach out to the dudes that I know that have quality product to get them in there. And I'm like, this could be a good thing because we couldn't fucking keep up for a while. It was just like, boom, gone. So you know,
Well, it's like, yeah.
we sat down and had lunch with Jasper, you know, got Chris in there, Cupcake, and then it started into just playing each other against each other, and he said this and he did that, and I'm like, you know what? I'm fucking out. You know, like, I might have started this whole thing, but if it's gonna turn into a he said, see, you know, I'm like, you know, Chris, I love him to death. He knows. Just call me. Just fucking call me. I'm gonna tell you if I said that. Oh, you're a dickhead or whatever. I wouldn't say that. And if I did, I'd be joking around.
Right.
Like we just bust each other's balls. That's just the way we work. And he's a good dude. He doesn't really give a shit about anything. So it was one of those deals where, you know, it's just whoever is the dude of the week, you know, and it's just. Like,
well, it became so much less about the product and so much more about the hype
and the drama, you know, and
like all this extra shit that has nothing to do with the weed.
No,
like that's why people were hanging out in there, because you could just have a weed conversation, and it wasn't this, oh, have you tried the whatever. It's not like that.
No, and it just, when people come in, I was just like, what are you looking for? What do you want? It's it. Well, this is kind of like that, or this is. You know,
the
blah,
closest
blah, blah.
I can get or whatever, yeah.
And they're like, oh, cool. And even if you're like, this is completely different, but it's really good, they're just be like, okay, fuck it, you know, throw it in. I don't care, you know, if you say it's good. And I honestly thought it was going to be like the game changer. I was like, oh my God, I don't have to deal with sales. I don't have to deal with any of that. I can focus on dialing this shit in. We had just been figuring out the LEDs, so I was like, we're going to turn this shit up and really go with it, because we can focus all our, you know, we're going to build out an addition on the grow. And then all of a sudden it was like, no, let's do store number 2 and fuck the addition. And I'm like, fuck the addition. I said, who's going to put in weed in store number 2? Because when you're selling, I know the numbers. When you're selling Joe Blow's weed, you're making a $200-$300 on a pound. That is not
sustainable.
You want to be pushing your own weed through the store, and all that other stuff is just a little bit of a bonus. It's not really making money. Like, there's no, you know, so
it's not the recipe for a successful store.
No, and I'm like, dude, we can't keep up. We're bitching about not having enough. We're rushing things a little bit, which is not good, because then, you know, it's just known. When you rush something, someone's like, oh, you know, this purple punch wasn't what it was last week.
Well, especially like ours, where it had been done the same for a long time.
Yeah.
And then you quickly, within 2 harvests, change a bunch of very noticeable things, like the trimming method.
Like the trim machine. Yeah. But, you know, so after we got done with that, things in town started really changing. And I walk right in the town office, and I should probably talk more politically correct with those people, but I just tell them, hey, look, I want to open a store up on the hill. I had a license first. I had permission to do this first. Well, you said you didn't want a license anymore because you have a store down there. I said, I don't have a store down there. I'm not even dealing with that anymore. And I never said I don't want a fucking license. And they're like, what are you talking about? He came down here and told us you didn't want one. I was like, he has a fucking store. Obviously, he's going to tell you, I don't want a store. Are you just going to pull Mulligan's liquor license because Rite Aid says he doesn't want one anymore?
Yeah, right.
Is that how this rolls? Because if that's the case, nobody else in town wants a pot license anymore. Nobody wants one.
Yeah.
Are you just going to
told me.
Pull them all right now? So it went back and forth, and they're like, you're going to have to talk to these people, and you're going to have to do this, and I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm probably not the only person, but one of the only people in that town that have just been like, dude, this is what I want to do. Nothing else. No fucking around. I'm not doing this over here and then doing that over here and doing this over here and behind your back this, and then you hear about it from whoever, because I know everybody in Manchester. And the shit just gets around. Like, I mean, if I want to know something, it's so freaking easy. You know what I mean? And it's just so easy, and I already know better than to, all right, yeah, I'm going to tell him I'm going to do this, but I'm going to hire this contractor. And he's going to talk to that guy, and he's going to tell him that I'm full of shit. And it's just going to come around, and then they're going to be pissed. So I kind of was like, I need to get the fuck out of Manchester. That's just, to me, after that, I'm like, after all this shit.
Well, that's why I mentioned you'd been doing it since like 2012.
Yeah. After all this time.
You were by far the longest in town.
Yeah, and I've been living there my whole life since 1998. Been living there, well, before that. And I'm like, you don't, like, to me, the coolest thing would be is, like, if I'm working in the town and I see some dude and I've watched him grow up and he's going to have a successful business in my town that he's lived in his whole life, wouldn't you want to promote him a little more than this fucking guy that moved here from here, or that guy that, you know...
And he's pissed off everyone in his wake?
Well, just not just them, but all of them. You know, granted, they all should deserve a chance to compete, but you should be kind of rooting for the dude from your town. I mean, it's just the way things...
Well, and the way they always talk, that generation, no kids are sticking around, blah, blah, this and that. Like, why do you think?
And especially where we're kind of running it like a farm. You know, it's not like a hydroponic mill, you know, which is fine too, but...
But that's the thing.
It fits in with Manchester.
They don't even know what that difference is.
The farm stand fits in with Manchester. That whole thing fits in with the town. I just figured they'd be like, dude, this is cool. But they're like, no, you know, you don't come in and talk to us enough, so we absolved your license off of someone else's word. And I'm like, shit. And, you know, and I probably could have gone down the road of
legal battles.
But I'm like, fuck it. If they don't want it, I'm going to jump over here where they want it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to give them all the money. You know, that's why we're selling our house. I'm like, fuck it. I'm out completely. You guys can just chew on it. I don't care. I don't want to. None of it.
Well, you tried.
Yeah,
It's not like you didn't try.
Yeah, and it's just, I know every town has small town politics, but that one is, you know, it's one thing where there's small town politics and whatever, this guy gets that, but in Manchester, it's like...
To the nth degree.
It's just, money. Oh, you have money?
Money right now? Yep.
Okay, well, we'll change the ordinance on the lake. You wanna have an oil refinery on the side of Cobbessy Lake? What are you going to do for us? Oh, sure. That's no problem. And I'm like, fuck. You guys...
Oh, you want to be on the board too?
Yeah. You guys
fucking come on.
Spineless. That's it, you know, but it's, hey, it is what it is. So anyways, we get out of that hole.
Well, I think that just goes to prove, like I said at the time, that the grow was more important than the store.
Well, of course. I mean, most guys that are in the game right now have a grow and a store. They all know that. The only ones that don't know that are the ones that don't have a grow. And everyone that doesn't have a grow wants a grow. Mm-hmm. Why do you want to fucking grow?
Cut costs.
Well, you think that you can produce pot for, 10 cents a pound. And then you just come very quickly realizing, when 3-year buffer on before you're putting anything out worth a fuck. Mm-hmm. Especially when you first start.
Yeah.
I could give you the key to success. Just write it up. Here you go. Have fun. And people are still going to fuck it up.
Yeah.
It's never exactly the same. You got to figure out every little thing. So I just, I'm glad to be out. We're in a way different spot. It's a way less, the future is day to day, but it's way less stressful. I don't have to deal with these bullshit phone calls all day, every day about drama this, drama that, this, that, the other thing. I'm like, at the end of the night, I'm sitting there looking at Lindsay like, what the fuck are we doing? We got to be self-employed. We talked Cory into being self-employed because it's less stress. It's stress in a different way.
Yeah.
But it's less like bullshit like, I got to deal with Johnny at the office tomorrow, who, whatever.
Yeah.
Some sexual predator or something. I don't know. It's like, come in and, the plants look like shit. Well, I'm stressed out. Let's figure this fucking shit out. It's a lot different.
Yeah.
But we got out of that. And then we get back, we mend things with Bill. I went up there and I'm like, dude, I am sorry. Like, I even let things happen like that. He's like, I know, blah, blah, blah. So he came to terms.
So he was pretty understanding.
He was extremely understanding. And, he also realizes once we made our first initial deal, like, I was just a fucking kid. I ran 1,500 square feet. And now we're throwing up 6,000.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things that you don't just count, take into effect.
Mm-hmm.
So
well, that store phase, a lot of it was bullshit, but on the other hand, we learned so many things that are only going to make us better.
I'm glad I got to learn about the way it all works and that side of things. And
because a lot of it was the legal questions regarding the store we just didn't know much about, and the feeling out process of how those actually work in the day-to-day running of the store.
Right. And I would have thought to this day that like a store is making bank off from us, our product. And through running the store, I figured out what actually goes into it. Like if you want to do it legit, like over at Hive, our shit gets packaged in glass.
Yeah.
And we don't pay for that.
And the labels.
We don't pay for that. They pay for that.
Yeah.
And I know how much that costs. I know how much they're making. I know how much they're paying in tax. They're not making a lot of money off from us. So, if I would have never gone in and done that, I would have never known.
Mm-hmm.
I would have been like, oh yeah, fucking getting rich off from us, but must be nice. But, I mean, if they can get $400 an ounce, good for them. I really don't care.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, we set the price of what works and it just goes. It's just that easy.
Yeah.
So none of that really matters. But we ended up getting out of that agreement or whatever, that circus. We get back on track, maybe 2 months. Then Bill calls us. Hey, I got this guy.
I was gonna say we had just
I'm like,
Manchester
oh my
was starting to run
God.
better than ever.
I got this guy. What does this guy want? Well, he wants to just buy this whole place. And I said,
fuck off.
and I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? What are we?
Yeah,
what?
what?
Are we doing?
Wait, what?
All right. Are they gonna let me finish the plans? Yes, no problem. Okay. Am I gonna have enough to restart at a new place? No landlord.
Mm-hmm.
Bills are getting paid off. We're getting paid off. We're just doing this. Everybody's happy. Yep. Okay. Well, let's talk about it. Oh, they'll call me back whenever, blah, blah, blah. And since we put Manchester up, we've never done a tour. We've never brought anybody in there. We've never, ever, someone that doesn't work there has never been in there. And then all of a sudden, these guys that want to buy it, they want these grand tours. And I'm like, God damn it. Like, fuck. It just makes my skin crawl having somebody in there. Yeah. It's just like...
With 3 rooms.
All right, hurry up. Get, fuck, cool,
Yeah, what are you looking at?
There's the lights, there's the fans. They're all the same. It's white, there's shit, plants.
Plants, yeah.
Don't fucking touch anything, you psychopath. And so they get the tour. They like it. They're going to buy it. They buy it. And, we're going back and forth for a little bit, obviously. But
yeah. So that was the gray period because, we didn't know if we had to start kind of moving shit out. We didn't have any place to move it to. We still got plants going. But these people are getting a little pushier because they're starting the buying process.
Yeah, and, they're dealing with loans and payback and all that shit. So, obviously, the second the loan drops, you got to start paying that bitch back. And, I get that. But at the same time, you got to...
You've cut into our production
huge.
Twofold.
Yeah, and... so it goes from, we get to finish all our rooms out to...
So do you think you could go a little quicker?
So we basically cut it 2 harvests short, Took everything out, which fucking sucks, but it is what it... I mean, this is going to be a much better setup for us at the end when it's all done anyways. Yeah. But, I forgot where the fuck I was at. But, so yeah, we go back and forth on this whole... I've never done a real estate deal, never... dealt with any of that, so I'm dealing with phone call, blah blah blah, this, that, and can you make a list of every speck of dirt that's in the place and every little this and every... I'm like, jeez. And I told him, I said, as long as you let us keep the beds, you can keep everything. Like, I don't keep it all. Oh yeah, you can take you can keep the beds. And I was like, God, I can't believe that
They don't want to grow that way.
No, it's not that I don't know. I just figured if it's there, someone would want it. But, let us take those. So we took those. Get everything pretty much the fuck out of there. And,
that was in the phase. So at that point...
We're trying to be ahead.
we're trying to be ahead, but we had not lined up another building. Our plan was to build a completely new building.
Yeah, and
so you were doing both. You were setting up that deal and also setting up all the contractors, the groundwork, all that shit that needed to be done down in the land.
Yeah, because we were set to close on July 1st?
Yep.
July 1st. So I was going to have the pad ready and concrete poured July 2nd. So I paid for the pad to be ready beforehand out of pocket. And then, as soon as the check hit, concrete was going to be poured. Building was going to get put up, spray foam. And then all of a sudden, my dad's like, you got to come see this property today. I just want you to see it before you start. I was like, Dad, I don't have the time. I got all this shit going on. I'm building this fucking place. This is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
He's like, dude, just come look at this. So I come out here and I'm like, motherfucker, there's a brand new warehouse. Just studded up with metal. Shelves there. I'm like, shit. Then you go into the other side and I'm like, there's like 7,000 square feet in the other side. And then there's the warehouse. There's 5,000 and it comes with a house. I'm like, son of a bitch. Here we go. Yep. Changing the fucking plan again. So, and then this ended up working out, which is great. I didn't expect it to work out, but,
Well, it was all fucking... I was holding my breath until you got that check.
Oh, yeah. I didn't think that was going to happen up until the day of the closing. I was like, this still isn't... what I thought.
None of it seemed real.
Dude,
I was like, for a little while, there was a couple days in a row where I was... Is this fucking real?
In the back of my mind, I was like, I'm going to show up down there and they're going to make me sign a non-compete or they're not going to give me the check. Meanwhile, them knowing we're moving out already. So they got us by the balls. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, no, here's a bank check. And I'm like, motherfucker. I was like, okay, that's cool. I guess we're going. We're doing it. You know, it's over. So good. I mean, I'm glad everything worked the way it did. Because I just, honestly, I didn't like the location. It was kind of in the middle of town.
Yeah. And
like I've already said, I wanted to get out of the town now that everything's done. I'm good. I'm done paying taxes in that town. I don't really care to support that whole thing, where just people don't really have a voice. It's just, yeah, I heard you, and then whatever. It's very cliquey, very, money. That money runs the town, just like every town. But a lot of people don't understand some of the wealthiest businesses around. The owners live in Manchester. Mm-hmm. Like the Pond Road is
stacked.
It's just $1 million homes. So glad to get out. Glad to start over. Glad to build something with, our own money 100%. Like there's no...
Well, and your own vision too, because that was the only problem with Manchester. A few corners got cut and just made the layout of the building a pain in the ass.
Yeah, just a complete madness. It was just like things
that shouldn't have been hard became hard because of how...
Very hard.
Certain things were done.
Yeah.
And this place... Not gonna be like that.
No, it's gonna be slick, and our thing the whole time has been how much can we run with, the least amount of people.
Yeah.
So this is gonna be sweet, and hopefully we can, be better about updating pictures of the build out and all that shit. But it's just been too busy, like.
Well, that's the thing. Like when you're in the process of doing shit, do I really want to take a few minutes off and just take pictures of shit? No, it kind of sucks, but sometimes you have to do it.
Right now contractors are so busy, someone will tell me, basically to hire, I love the guys that do our carpentry work for us, but it's $100 an hour for two of them. I'm like $1,000 a day. I'm gonna go pound nails. I mean, fuck. Yeah. So that's what I've been doing, is just framing shit up here and just doing it. So, that is a lot different than, most guys hired out and they don't really know what's in their walls. And it's like, I'd rather kind of know if something gets fucked up. I'm like, okay, that was probably this because I friggin' didn't do this, type of thing, rather than playing the whole search game. But This place is like going to be overkill everything, so it's going to be legit. And Jeremy, one of our buddies that owns GrowGen or is a part owner, he's just helping us out huge. So that's good. Like someone I can like. Most people can't find equipment right now. That's a huge problem with the whole Corona thing. Is like lights and ACs. Yeah. They all come from China. So, luckily we have him, because if I was to go to local store, you're talking November, December for a large light order.
Yeah. And
he's just like, no, dude, it'll be here Tuesday. And I'm like, whoa, okay. He's like, yeah, it doesn't work that way for just anybody. There's nothing in inventory in the company.
Yeah.
It's like, damn, it's a stressful time for everybody right now. It's fucked up.
No, but that goes to show you what happens when you treat your relationships the way you should, instead of fucking walking all over people and just expecting shit from them.
Yeah, can't do that. Definitely can't do that. But, so, I think...
Yeah.
Had we had closed before we went to Pennsylvania? We hadn't closed yet.
No, because it got pushed back like a week.
That's right. It got pushed back because of some bullshit. But,
insurance.
Yeah. So the closing got pushed back, and I was like, dude, this is too much. Like we're gonna fucking go have some fun. So
it was wild timing for this.
I called the dude that I've known for a little bit, and I'm like, what can me and Cory do for hunts right now, because it's off season for everything. He's like, well, I know of a guy. You can go down to his place and hunt pigs. I was like, yeah, let's do that shit. And so he's like, all right, send me the money. So I sent him the money. I sent him a deposit. And he said, you can stay there. They're going to cook your food. Whatever, you go hunt, you go shoot some pigs, have some fun.
Supposed to be 3 nights, right?
Yeah, it's supposed to be 3 nights. And we're driving down there. I mean,
to Pennsylvania.
I can't remember the name of the town. To be honest, I don't even remember where it was. But it was right below, like it was like an hour and a half southeast of Buffalo, New York. So it was up in there somewhere.
Fuck, I can't remember the name either.
But we got through New York, and I was like, this is some of the nicest land I've ever seen. Like, it was like upstate New York was fucking awesome. And my dad's like, what are we in for? Like, because we brought my dad, and what am I in for? I was like, dude, I don't know what. No clue.
And the fact that he's asking that, meanwhile, this is my first hunting trip of any kind ever.
Yeah, and you were not very confident with your bow before we left. You were kind of like, I'm like, yeah, fuck it, let's go.
Nope, I didn't even have sight tape on my bow or anything. I just fucking...
Because you got the bow in the spring, right?
No, we started shooting in November.
Of last year?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, and then you decided definitely not to use it last year. And
no, we were doing rifle only.
Nothing through the winter.
Nothing. No, yeah, so was shooting the gun in November. Didn't start shooting the bow until February, March. Probably March, because it was not much snow outside.
Yeah. So, and I was like, you're kind of dipping your toes into it a little bit.
I had my 20, 30, 40 pin.
Well, in the very beginning, you're kind of like, yeah, I'll shoot a little bit, buy a freaking little shitty kid's target.
Yeah.
And then you got the new Hoyt RX3, and you're just like, okay, well, this is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Start going, getting better.
When you get that itch, like when you suck at something and you want to get better, all right, I suck at this, but I know I can be better.
Well, it only takes
practice.
It's like golf. It's the one shot, you lay in there, and you're like, okay,
I'm
kind of hooked.
I'm hooked.
Yeah. So I tell people, once you either you get hooked right from the first beginning, or it takes a minute. But once you do, it's an endless.
Yeah.
It's an endless. Like, you just think like, oh yeah, I'll go hunting. Like, it's really inexpensive, and
Well, and that was my thought. It was like, all right, I'll use the bow to get meat, because I don't really want to use the gun. And then it's like, okay, well, there's the archery side, and then there's the hunting side. It's 2 completely different skills.
Yeah.
That have to meld together in order to get your food. And I don't know, that just sounds better than going Hanford to me.
Yeah.
And it tastes better too.
And it's extremely hard already, and like the way my mind works is like I'm gonna try to film myself too.
Yeah.
You know, filming a wild animal is already like not the easiest thing, but then you have to like film the shot as the animal's coming in.
As I'm doing something else.
It's a stupid thing to try to take on, but you know, whatever, right? So you're pretty decently like I would say you were decently practiced up. Like in my mind,
I was confident within 30.
I was like, he's fine, but he's just too worried. You know, worrier. You're not the type of dude that's just gonna go out. You're not just gonna be like, yep, shot a couple times, go out. There's those dudes. You're gonna be the guy that can like shoot the wings off of a fly and just be like, all right, I think I can do this. So we get down there and.
Well, my concern was never like the shooting part. At first it was, but when we were getting ready to leave, it wasn't. It was more the processing the animal part.
Yeah.
That's the part of the game that.
Well, I feel like
we didn't practice that before we left. So I feel it like that way.
That's some of people's biggest anxiety is like.
By far. What is the biggest anxiety by far?
How am I going to react to, field dressing an animal? And to me, it's like I've seen it since I was 1 year old.
Yeah.
And that's something that just flies through my brain because you got to get that shit out. Otherwise, the whole reason for the hunt is ruined. You know, the meat's ruined. And to me, it's just like, whatever. It's just, it's like throwing away fan leaves to me. It's just like, it is what it is. You just do it. And so I didn't even think about that part. Like that, like, I never thought that I would, like, be bringing somebody hunting or teaching someone other than my kids. So I don't like my kids already know the process. They're like, yeah, that's what you do. But I never thought of it to be like, oh, this person is taking what they see on the movies of guys getting blown up.
Yeah.
And that's what that is.
Yeah. Well, see, I knew what was coming next, but like the step by step and what I needed to do, didn't know.
Right.
Well, like, we got to field dress a fucking animal, but what does that mean?
Right, yeah.
I just start slicing shit. I'm like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, and then you learn, like, you fucked that part up, then
the whole hunt
you fuck
almost wasted.
You don't just cut things out.
No.
You just don't keep, You don't do that. There's a bunch of tricks to it anyways.
Well, especially when you go through the process like that that situation was more controlled. I guess we should go through the hunt a little more, but...
Yeah, no, we definitely will.
With how controlled it was.
I didn't know if you wanted to talk about the deer season of November, your first, because I feel like talking to you, I was like, he thinks this is a lot easier than it is because we have a gun. Mm-hmm. So I was like, he's a little bit underestimating this shit. We did get fucked up a bunch of times with these two idiots. That it's a thing that sucks when you hunt land that other people hunt. Is just you can have like I planned for high hills. I was like. We pulled in the very first morning of Cory hunting. We pull in, and there's 7 deer in our headlights. And he's just like, oh, okay. What's their corn?
Yeah, which one? Which one am I
So it's still dark, shut the lights off, boom. And I'm like, that's a good sign. I'm like, we're fucking in it. And so we're getting ready. We're getting out of the truck. Be quiet. Don't slam the doors the whole night. And then all of a sudden, another truck pulls in. Hey, your dad told me I could hunt here. I was like, well, you can hunt over there across the street. We're going in there. All right. We get up into the blind, get set, and I'm like, this is a good spot. Shit's going to happen this morning. Hang the fuck on. 10 minutes later, I hear these two assholes, just...
Sound like Sam Squanch walking through the fucking woods.
I'm like, dude, is that a fucking deer already? One of the guys was probably 250
pounds. It's a monster.
I was like, yeah, that's a big... and I'm like, oh, it's... dumb shit and his buddy.
Yeah.
So then we walked all over Hell's High Acre everywhere that day and nothing. And then you slowly started to realize throughout November, like, this shit is fucking daunting. Mm-hmm. This is a grind. This is some bullshit. And we ended up, it was the end of the season. I want to say it was the 3rd week. Maybe it was the 2nd week. And we finally saw some deer, and I was like, hey, those fuckers are down there, a ways. And you're like, I am not shooting that far. And I'm like, all right, well, I got a bonus tag. I'll see what I can do. So I ended up shooting one of them. And that's the first time I think you've actually seen the whole process. Mm-hmm. And didn't go very well.
On something other than a squirrel.
Yes, yeah. So, I mean, it sucks because deer are... basically as close to it looks like something that you should have as a pet.
Yeah.
I mean,
It just looks that
it's
innocent,
a mini horse.
that innocent look to it. Yeah.
It's a mini horse with swords on its head.
Yeah.
That's all it is. I mean, it's prettier than a fucking horse.
For
you
sure.
know, it's just, I mean, it is. So it's kind of weird. It is kind of weird.
Yeah, it's one of those things you see in the woods and you're like, I'm not even supposed to be fucking seeing this thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And,
yeah, I underestimated that feeling.
Yeah.
Pulling the scope up on it for the first time.
Yeah. And,
but I mean, that's not something you could practice either, other than getting out there and doing it.
I tell it to people like it's something that every once in a while you tap into these weird reservoirs in your body from maybe 500 years ago. I don't know.
Yeah.
That it's like, okay, we're starving. Meat's coming. And I'm telling you, it's like that feeling that you get right before you get into a fight for the first time. You just feel like it's just a complete adrenaline dump.
You're like floating.
Yeah.
Like I feel nothing.
And it's the feeling you get right before you pass out too sometimes. So it's like, what's going on? I don't know what's going on. Why is this thing doing this to me? And so we get through that process somewhat. And
I survived. Let's put it that way.
And you were nervous about how you're going to react because you didn't, you know.
I've always had a thing with blood.
Yeah.
It's my whole life.
Yeah.
But
and me not thinking again,
which doesn't make sense because I've eaten meat since I was a kid.
Right.
So just the whole, I don't get that. But I'm not a psychologist, so I don't fucking know.
Well, it's one of those things. Like at the end of the day, no matter how you get it, it's brutal. You know, whether you're the butcher.
Yeah.
Taking the 22 and bouncing it off the cow's head and killing it, or doing it yourself.
Yeah.
It's a brutal process. There's no way to make it nice.
Yeah.
I mean, you are killing something. It's just, there's one right way to do it.
Yeah.
So, we get through that, and I'm like, I gotta get him into a situation that's just like, that was mayhem. I was like, I need to get him into a situation that's not fucking mayhem. And I'm like, I know pigs are as blind as a bat. They're aggressive, so they're territorial. So if they look at us, they're gonna be like, "You want to fucking go?" You know, it's not gonna be like running off type of thing. So it's like, yeah, we'll go down there. So we pull into the ranch or camp or whatever you want to call it. Tioga, yeah, Tioga,
Pennsylvania.
Yeah, exactly.
There we go.
And I'm like, motherfucker, there's a giant fence. This isn't good. And I'm like, how big is your land? And he goes, well, it's 1,000 acres. I'm like, shit, that's pretty big. I mean, you could walk 1,000 acres is a big piece of land. And I know a lot of people are like bullshit about high fence hunting or whatever, but 1,000 acres with a bow and arrow.
Yeah.
I mean, your effective range is realistically, 40 yards if you're.
I was confident at 40. I wanted it to be 30 and in.
Yeah. So 1,000 acres, 200 times 200 times 1,000, that's a big piece of land. So I was like, oh, okay, that's whatever, that's cool. Meanwhile, our coolers were running low from the fall, and I was like, let's we're gonna go get some pigs. So we pull in, and this place was exactly the opposite of me, molasses. Everybody walked like they had a can of molasses up their ass. They're just slow farmers, I was like...
Yeah, no one was in a rush to do anything.
I was like, dude, let's leave at 3 a.m. so we can get there at noon, so maybe we can hunt in the afternoon. Well, they didn't tell us this, but there was no fucking way we were going out. Because those dudes have plans, and they're not changing.
Yeah.
And it's like, they planned on going home at 1:30. So...
The most we got was, oh yeah, I'll go ask so-and-so if he can take you guys out. We didn't see anyone from like 3 o'clock on.
Yeah, so we get there, and he's like, it's going to take you a minute to get acclimated. I'm like, okay, so I throw my shit in the room. We shoot the bows. I'm like, we're fucking good.
Yeah,
so
we're ready. Let's rip.
It's 1 o'clock. I'm like, so, well, I'm going to ask blah, 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 see if he wants to bring you guys out. So we're sitting there waiting, and I said, well, I'm not going to start drinking beer because if we got to go out, then I'm screwed, and I'm definitely not going to hunt.
Yeah.
So... we're like, screw it. Let's go find beer. Go to Walmart. Not a case of beer in Walmart. I'm like, what the hell's going on here?
I know, we wandered around there for a little while. Like, what the fuck?
And then someone was like, no, there's no beer at gas stations in Pennsylvania. I was like, okay. So finally I type it in, blah, 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 liquor store. oh, you're only allowed to buy whatever, a 15 pack per truck.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is wrong with people in Pennsylvania?
Alcohol.
Does alcohol make them crazy?
Yeah.
So
That great
we go back
alcohol.
and nobody spoke to us for the rest of the night.
Nope.
Just basically.
We didn't even see anybody the rest of the night.
And
Except
so,
the lady that cooked us dinner.
So I'm like, all right, so there's nobody around here. I'm going to go fucking exploring. So
Naturally.
we're walking around and there's a breeder pen. And I didn't know at the time.
Yeah, we didn't know.
I was like,
Nothing was labeled.
I was like, if I'm hunting in that, I'm not going to go out tomorrow morning because it's like
A shooting gallery.
50 yards by 50 yards. And there's a bunch of pigs and piglets running around. I'm like, oh, God, this is weird. So then finally we saw some buffalo. They had buffalo. They had axis deer.
That goat.
Yeah, and
Whatever.
ibex.
Ibex, yeah.
And then these two guys from Jersey pull in. Like these, I don't even know who the fuck they were, but they were two older guys that were just out there. And you could kind of tell that this place wasn't a place for like hunters. It was a place for like, not rich guys, but bored guys. I don't even know if most of these guys eat the meat.
I couldn't tell.
I think it was just a place where they went with their guns to just shoot things that are alive.
Yeah.
Because that one dude spent $4 grand or something. He saw that goat and the guy, he was like, how much for that goat? And the guy was like, $2,500. He's like, all right, sweet.
Didn't even hesitate, apparently.
What?
Immediately.
Dude, it's the ugliest animal I've ever seen.
Well, and there's no meat on it. It was tiny.
90 pounds. I'm like, cool, there we go. All right.
Blasting shit.
So anyways, the next morning, I was like, all right, so what are we getting up? First light? What are we doing? And the guy's like, no, we eat breakfast at 7:30. I'm like, motherfucker. I was like, I'm going to be up ready to rip. Daylight.
We expect to be in the whatever.
Well,
stand
before
or-
that, we were having some beers and you were nailing with your bow. You're like,
we were shooting at like 50, 60, and I was feeling good.
You're like, all right, I got this. So I was like, okay, here we go. And I talked to my dad. I pulled him aside. I was like, he's shooting first. So Dad's like,
Yeah, because you guys wanted to get it on film and fucking God, dude.
Well, you needed to
yeah,
get that confidence. So freaking next morning, they're like, hey, this is Chase. He's your guide. You know, nice enough kid. Like I said, bottle of molasses shoved up his ass. They're just dragging ass around, and I'm like, dude, I'm not used to this. I'm used to fucking going.
Yeah.
And these guys are like, you know, hobbling around and dragging their ass, and I'm like, whatever. So we hop in the side by side and pull in, and there's probably 200 deer just running through. I was like, wow, this is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And the second they saw us, when they saw the side by side, no problem. The second we get out, they're gone. So I'm like, okay, this is gonna be all right.
Yeah, it seemed kind of legit wandering in.
And I'm like walking behind the guide, and I'm like trying to figure out what he's doing.
He's talking the whole time. He's dragging his fucking foot, literally dragging one of his feet through like stumps and shit. Talking, looking back at us, not really paying attention.
Like,
he had a predetermined spot he was taking us to.
Yeah, it's like the money spot or something. And it's like he knew. Like we started at 7:30 because they found the pigs, and then we were gonna walk into where the pigs were.
Yeah.
But I mean, if he knew where those pigs were, and we'll get to it in a second, then he was.
I think there was some miscommunication on the walkie-talkies.
I just think that they're farm boys and they're just a little thick. You know, all of them are like.
I know, because I tried to we'll get to it, but I tried to.
He's talking about fucking skiing the Rocky Mountains and all this shit. I was like, you ski?
Right? With the fucking dead leg behind you? Like, what the hell?
He's got one leg cocked off. I'm like, is that from skiing?
His hips fucked.
So he's like, let's sit in here for a bit. I just want to let you know what you can shoot and what you can't shoot, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
So we're sitting there, and he's talking like this. And I'm like,
He's talking just normal.
I am not used to this. I said, I would fucking clip your nuts if we were hunting and you were just like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. You hear me, right? Yeah, just fine. So we're sitting there, about 30 yards off, a pig stands up. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
They're right there. And he's like, oh.
Huh.
Yeah, those are the ones we want to shoot. I said,
I know, they were the pigs.
Okay.
And it was 3 of them.
So I look at Cory. I'm like, dude, that one has a stripe right across his heart. And he's like, yeah, that's the one I want.
Stripey.
And I was like, okay. So there's a couple times where you maybe could have done something.
I could have let one go.
Yeah, you could have.
I just didn't feel. I was like in a weird half kneel on a side hill. and they were moving. They never stopped really once. And the only time they did, the one I wanted to shoot was turned awkwardly, so I didn't let one go.
Right.
I couldn't do it.
You held off, and I was like, dude, look at the video. Like, I could have shot that thing 15 times. He's like,
Yeah.
shoot then. Don't wait for me.
Yeah.
I was like, no. Pressure's on.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, one of those little baby axis deer, it was like 5 pounds. I mean, he came up.
Stared at us.
7 yards.
Yeah.
I mean, that was kind of cool. But
None of them noticed us, and that one of us moved, and it saw us.
yeah.
Stood like, I don't know, 10 yards away, just stared at us for a minute and hopped off. Little Bambi hop.
So finally, we
Saw that fox.
I was like, dude, those pigs are just over this hill. Like, I was like, I would just pop up on the hill and shoot them.
Yeah.
This guy was like, dead set that we're not going up there. So I'm like, I'm just gonna listen to this motherfucker, whatever he knows. So finally,
Nothing comes
he gets
over
on the radio, and I don't remember the kid's name.
Was it Chase?
No, Chase was the guy, but there was the pusher. I was like, I didn't know there was gonna be a pusher. I don't remember the kid's name.
I don't
It was
either.
like Colton or I don't know what the fuck it was.
One of those.
But he was
Ryder.
It's something
Like that.
Yeah. And so he's like, yeah, he's gonna go down here in this bottom and kick him up. And I'm like, oh, whatever. So then we see like a bunch of Russian boars, and I'm like, motherfucker. I said, if one of
The
those,
more expensive.
I go, yeah, if one of those comes by, I said, what's the deal? He goes, you want to pay for it? You shoot it.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I mean, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be.
Yeah. If it comes in range, it might get one.
So that didn't end up working out. So he's like, let's go up on the hill. And we ended up finding the pigs. And he's like, they're about 100 yards off. And he's like, you want to sneak up on them and try to put a stock on them? And we were like, no, probably not. Let's just see, if you can loop around and get them to come our way. So we set up in this little gully. And he loops around. And those motherfuckers are coming on a line. And they're probably about 80 yards. And Cory draws back. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, shit.
As soon as they crested the hill.
Oh, he's fucking gonna let one loose. And I'm like, oh no,
Nope.
This is not gonna be good. They're looking right at him like...
No, because I had ranged that hill before they came over.
Yeah.
And they were probably 50 yards.
Okay.
So I knew. I was like, all right, just go through my pins.
Yeah, I was just
40, like, 30, 20.
Yeah, I was just like, he's gonna cut one loose. So they started coming in, and then my dad had it. At this point, he was like, I don't care.
Yeah, because he could have shot probably 6 times earlier when we saw him.
Cory doesn't get first run anymore, so both of them draw back, and my dad cuts one loose. All 3 pigs came in. My dad hits one, and then second after on the video, Cory, boom, nails one. And I'm like, sweet, I'm videoing. And as soon as they let arrows go, I'm getting on my bow, and then there was a third one that's like, what is going on? Like, he's looking around, and I'm like, oh my God, no way is he just going to hang out. Turns perfectly broadside.
And just stands there for a second.
And I lace one right through him, and the guy comes over the hill, and he goes, what the fuck did you do?
Yeah.
I was like, they're all done. We got them all.
Yeah, he's like,
all of them?
I came over the hill, and it was a bloodbath. I lost it when he said that.
He goes, you shot all of them? And he looked at me, and I said, I shot one. He's like, well, I watched you shoot, and it looks like you hit both. I said, there's 2 down by the time I shot, dude. It wasn't me that would have hit both, bastard. But holy shit, like, yeah, it was a bloodbath. And he was like, it took him a minute. He was just like looking around, like.
Yeah, I know. He had to take it all in.
I'm like, what are you used to?
Yeah, I couldn't tell.
Yeah. And then, so this was like the first full day we were there. And he's like, well, we can cut them up. I was like, yeah, cut that shit up. And, I mean, we were on the road at 2 p.m. the next day.
Yeah. But see, I went through that. I made it through that whole process fine.
Yeah.
Witnessing the death.
Skinning them.
I was in the room for that.
Yeah.
I didn't stay in the whole time. Fuck no, but... Because it started to smell weirder than it looked. It didn't look that bad to me. The smell of that room was awful.
Yeah, and What it is it's a walk-in cooler that they shut off when no clients are there, and any walk-in cooler, if you shut it off, it's gonna smell. So
Yeah.
they were once that gets back down to temp, it would probably go away. But plus they process a lot of shit in there, you can tell.
Yeah.
And they had about, I would say, 7 guys in there working like hammer time, and we were just in the way. I mean, I just didn't want to be in the fucking way.
Yeah. I just had to see somewhat. I was like, I gotta see.
So the pigs are probably 230 pounds or about that, maybe 230 pounds.
Something.
And they had them all processed, I'd say, within 2.5 hours, completely vac sealed in coolers, ready to go.
Yeah.
And I was like, shit, that's pretty legit. And then we ended up, I mean, I don't remember what time we got home. We probably got home about midnight.
Let's say it was like 11:30. You dropped me at the shop.
Yeah.
To get my car.
But it was a quick turnaround.
It was efficient.
And if
We
anyone
were highly efficient on that trip.
if anyone was in your shoes just getting into it, I would definitely say to do that first. To figure out if you even want to
A
do
hunt
it.
like that first.
Yeah, because it could have gone either way for you.
Oh yeah.
Like if you would have, you figure out right then and there, like, is this for me or not?
Yeah.
Like, and
So, because shooting a squirrel isn't gonna let you know what it's like to kill an animal of any real size.
killing a bird, killing a raccoon, killing a porcupine, it's not
the same.
It's not.
There's something else. And like you said about the feeling of the adrenaline or whatever it is when you kill the deer, it's like even before the killing part, that hunting mode, whatever it is you're getting into, there is some mode that's just different. Because I played in a lot of big games, and I would like to think that half the reason you like playing games is because you get to a mode close to that. You get to a situation where, like, the adrenaline, the anxiety, the amount you care is to the nth degree, and you're kind of freaking out, but it's awesome.
Yeah, you're almost like walking on a cloud.
Yeah.
Like you're it sounds weird to say, but there's no pain in your body.
There's nothing.
You're in a flow, like, even with sports, when you hit that zone,
Yeah.
when you just can't, like, there's some times when you hit a stride and you just can't fucking miss.
Yeah.
Like baseball, football, like some games, sometimes you're just on fire. I don't know what that is.
That zone, though, but that's that thing. It's that same thing. I think the hunting thing is a little different because there's a life being taken aspect that isn't in sports, but it's similar. It's very similar.
Yeah.
But sports never got it to that degree that even the pig hunt did. Like, there was just something different going on.
Yeah,
it's hard to put your finger on.
It's like I said, it's like that feeling when you know you're going to get into a fight.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, my body knows that I can't feel pain if I'm going to win.
Yeah.
And it's like that same dump. It's like I think we're just built to, like, wrestle the fucking thing or something instead of, but it clicks you in.
Well, I was going to say, there's this weird state of, like, heightened awareness.
Yeah.
Because, like, to recall that moment, a lot of other parts on the trip I can't recall little details of.
That's all the weed, though.
But but for that, I don't know, whatever it was, maybe 30 seconds of the pigs coming over the hill.
Yeah.
I remember every little detail of the entire thing.
Right.
There's something else. There's something going on there that you're tapping into. It's weird.
Yeah. And people don't understand why people get that bug.
They think it's just, oh, you want to kill shit. Like, no, you don't get it.
No.
There's so much more than the killing is one small piece of it. Yeah, it's an important part, but it's one small piece, and that's why you practice that as much as you do. So when it comes time to kill, you're doing it in the best way possible.
Right.
And since I've gotten into hunting, if I was going to get killed, I think getting shot by a bow would be one of the best ways to go.
You wouldn't feel it till it's too late.
Yep, and then you'd be like, well, shit, shut it down.
That doesn't feel right. Nope. Okay.
Oh, it's not right.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different ways to do it and a lot of different opinions on it, but it's one of those things. I mean, it's just, now it's a part of life. I mean, there's no other way to go back. I can't feel good about going to the store anymore. It's just like, Lindsay will be like, hey, let's go up to the store and just, get some hamburger that's already defrosted. I'm like, fuck, that shit sucks.
Well, and then the way I've been trying to I don't want to say justify, because I don't think I have to justify what I do to anybody else, but to try to make sense of why the hunting thing makes more sense to me as far as gathering meat than going to the store is when you eat the meat that you've harvested through a hunt. I mean, you think about that entire process. So when you go buy meat at the store, anytime past that, like since you started hunting, you're going to think about the process of how that meat got to the store. It's way more fucked up situation than going hunting.
Well, you just wonder.
Way more.
What? You know, because you have a guy that kills 200 cows a day. Does he give a fuck? At the end of the day? Think about a dude that just says, hey, I want you to trim 3 pounds a day.
Yeah.
I mean,
I could do it, but
to kill that many animals in a day, your mind has to shut that shit down.
Yeah.
What am I doing? There's a podcast, I don't remember who it's with. It's Michael Bisping with, he's either Theo or Joe. And he talks about he used to work in one of those kill houses.
Mm-hmm.
And he used to kill 100 cows a day. Just 22.
Yeah, that thing they use, yeah.
Basically a ram set. And he's just like, it's just a thing you do. And I'm like, that is fucked. You know, just because...
Yeah.
Every time that cow gets killed, it's just a credit card getting swiped. And that's what people don't want to accept. If you don't like hunting, don't eat meat. Because shit's getting killed no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is.
Yeah,
whatever.
It's a weird disconnect people have.
And, you know, yeah, it takes up the whole entire fall, but I don't know.
I mean, to me, it's... Especially, I mean, you see the problems that are created in the supply chain right now with the whole COVID thing going on.
Yeah.
It only makes sense to guarantee yourself a way to get food if someone else can't provide it for you. It's the only thing that makes sense.
It amazes me that some people think that things are going to go back to the way they were. Like
They'll never be exactly the same.
Like I strongly believe that I'm grateful to live in a time, probably 10 years in the United States, where it was just like living on a cloud.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like so fucking easy. Oh yeah, do what you want, whenever you want. Like, no pressure. And then the stick broke this year, and everyone's like, "What happened?" I'm like, "You think that we are supposed to live this easily? We are related to those fucking people in Africa and South America living in hell.
Yeah.
That's where we came from. We're not supposed to live like this, you know? We're not supposed to have bidets spraying our asses."
Because as soon as the comforts get taken away, what happens then?
And we've gotten so fluffy that nobody wants to work. You know what I mean? It's like factories should be... I mean, hard work is what makes... If you don't have to hunt and gather anymore, like... You take away hard work, what's left?
I think that's why so many people feel lost in this society. They have no real direction. Like, yeah, you can try to get the next thing, but what is that? That's not a real goal.
And just so much shit is thrown away.
Then you're just getting the next thing. You're just continually getting the next thing. Like,
yeah, and you're chasing the next thing. Oh, another reason to go to work. Another reason to go to work. One of my best friends works for the Department of Defense, and he was up. And he told me, he's like, look, he has guys that work, so they get like 4 weeks off or something. And if I fuck that up, then whatever. But they get that amount of time off. And he has guys that don't take any vacation time and just get paid off. They just get that week's worth of money.
Yeah.
And they're like bragging about it. And he's like, dude, if they let me buy your vacation time, I would fucking buy it. Because I work to go do shit. I don't work to work. I don't want to just work my ass off and my life away for nothing. And it's just, I feel like that's just, it's either how much can I take for doing nothing, or it's just like, let's work 50 hours a week and never take a vacation and never do anything fun and sit on my phone and fuck around. How many people do you think take a vacation and just stay on their phone the whole time?
A lot.
Probably 70%.
Where they don't leave the house. For like,
oh, we're in Florida. Picture, cool. You know, like, oh, margarita, look at it. I'm like, dude, go see some shit. But there is a few select people out there that go see shit. Like, so many people that live in this state that thinks it's a shitty state that hasn't seen shit. It's like, fucking DM Jake. He'll tell you somewhere to go fucking look at shit.
Well, that's the
I
thing.
will.
These are my spots.
You go into the local swamp, it's cool as fuck.
Well, that's the thing. I think
You know?
this whole getting the next thing mentality is really taking people out of nature, big time.
Yeah.
There's no respect for it at all, and it's like you guys are so lost,
Yeah.
so lost.
Yeah, it is.
And I know they feel. The thing is, I know most of them feel it, like in their day to day. There's times when, like, because I've done it before. You're scrolling through Instagram, all of a sudden I'm like, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
You see that one thing, and I'm like, what am I doing?
And then you catch yourself just getting enraged.
Yeah.
You're like,
get the shit away from me.
are they talking about me? Are they? I know they have 150,000 followers, but is that?
You're talking about me?
All right, passive aggressive time.
Yeah.
Well, if somebody didn't say this, I wouldn't be so mad right now. And then everyone's like, who said it? And it's like, fuck. You know? It's too much.
You're
It's just
missing
too
out
much.
on all the good shit.
Yeah,
And
and
just going and doing shit.
it's all about capturing how much fun you're having. And
To show other people, where it's like, it doesn't matter. Just have the fun.
I was thinking about this the other night when I was mega blasted off of an edible. I was like, people don't have memories anymore. They don't have those memories. Like, remember that time we went out to camp and Johnny flipped his truck over, and it's like, no, because it's too much this. And when people get bored, yeah, they do dumb shit. But guess what? It's good memories.
There's no proof.
But it's also good memories.
I don't need the live proof though.
You take 6 guys and
don't
you get them bored in a camp somewhere.
Yeah.
Without anything. They're gonna come back with a fucking story. I promise.
Well, I mean,
I promise.
I think that's how Jackass started.
Yes. Oh.
And then, yeah, they just wanted to film it. Other people didn't. Yeah, it's too bad for kids right now. Cause,
Not my kids.
well, no, but I mean, even as far as like, they have a hard time even seeing and meeting up with their friends right now.
Yeah.
Like that part, it's just, I feel bad for them.
It's pushing them more to go to tablet. Like,
Yeah.
it's like,
Oh, I can communicate with my friends if I text them. Like, no.
we don't
Fuck
have
that shit.
we don't have shit for friends that have kids, because like if I go over somewhere and I see them that they just throw their kids a tablet and oh, I can go upstairs and drink if they're on that shit.
Yeah.
Nope. Sorry. I mean, I'm not doing it. I don't want my kids on that shit. Yeah, I'd rather pay for your sheetrock to get fixed because my kid put his head through it rather than him sit there and be good
A zombie.
on his tablet all night, because the second I take that shit away, they're assholes. You can tell. It's like they're telling me subconsciously, Dad, don't give me that shit again.
Yeah, you took my drug.
Yeah,
You
it's
just
like,
took my drug right
and
out
they're
of my hands.
it's immediate. Like, it's crazy. It's just like, it's immediate satisfaction doing whatever they're doing on that thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, we're not. We're gonna go walk through the woods tonight, see something, go catch some bugs.
Right.
It's crazy. I was like, Lindsay's like, we don't have any friends. I was like, I'm good. I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Like, those 3 little fuckers right there, they're my friends. Like, well, I'll go talk with them. We don't need to be hanging out with these people just to get mad, because she can't take it. Because I'm just sitting there listening to people. I'm like, are we kidding? We talk about politics? No, we're not.
The biggest fucking waste of time.
Yeah, it's like waste of time. You get all these people arguing about this shit, and I'm like, we can't do anything. Even in our town, we can't make a difference.
No.
In the state
odd.
level and the I know we're taught to vote and that every vote makes a difference. I don't fucking think it can.
I mean, you see it doesn't really with this whole weed situation.
Legalize weed.
When do we-
What does that mean
When
to
do we
you?
vote, reckon?
If you say yes on pot, the whole population says yes on pot. Yes, we squeaked the vote by.
Vote
yes
to
on
vote.
pot.
That's why you had to
What
vote.
what does yes on pot mean? Open the fucking floodgates, boys.
Not the way we worded it.
Open it up. Open it up. It's legal.
Yeah.
Open it. Just let it go. Just say, weed people, we need this amount of tax. Just sell your fucking pot.
Yeah.
And then the state would have been like, oh my God, what do I do with all this money?
Yeah, they
we
would be
paved
big.
the roads 40 times this year. You know what I mean? Radiant slabs in every road in the state of Maine, so no snow ever gets on it. What do we do?
Now you're talking.
But no. You gotta know fucking Walt Disney to get a license in the state of Maine. And especially if you're from here. Oh, you're from Maine?
Wait. you're under 45 and you don't have $1 million.
This guy's rich.
Yeah.
He knows better. He knows better business practices than you.
Yeah.
No shit. But where the state capitalizes? When people don't know what the fuck they're doing in their business. So let it roll. It's silly to me. Like, everybody across the board now, like, if we were to vote again on pot, I bet it'd be 80%.
For it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody now. When we voted on it before, it was still one of those things where, like, you smell like pot, someone's going to say something to you at Hannaford. Like,
Yeah, now that the stores have been
gross.
around for a little while, I bet people are like, who gives a shit?
Yeah, let's just fucking go. Like, people want to start reaping the reward of it being legal. You know, like...
When the state's bitching about money, there's some quick money that you've seen works all over the country, has worked for other states.
All this money that's been shoveled into people's laps the last couple months, like, that's a hole.
Yeah.
That hole's got to get filled with something.
Well, yeah.
It's not going to get filled with the tax dollars from the macaroni industry. What a perfect time to legalize weed. Just say, hey, all you guys, fucking do what you want to do.
Yeah.
Here is the license fee for the year, federally, and pay federal taxes. Let's get this shit fixed. Okay.
It's at least a starting point. And then if you want to amend shit and work on it from there, then, okay, at least you have something to base it off of.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you're just trying to make rules on rules and you don't even know what's going to work or not. Just start it.
Yeah, and all these corporate people, well, we don't want some small guy, that will work 90 hours a week to be able to offer a lower price than us up the road. How are we supposed to compete with him? You're not.
You have to change your model.
You're not. Well, you're not.
At that size, you won't.
In all reality, like places like Walmart and Hannaford, they don't make sense.
Not for certain things, and especially weed being one of them.
Well, you track it back from weed to everything.
Well, yeah, I mean, I hate Walmart and that shit, but...
You go to Hannaford and...
They cornered the convenience market
look at this.
Very nicely. So.
To survive, how much shit could you take out of Hannaford and survive without?
90% of it.
What are we doing?
Yeah, I know.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, what are we doing? Like... Yes, I like chips every once in a while, obviously.
Yeah.
But, jeez, come on. Like, things have gotten a little out of control. You know where the local farmer's at. He can't pay his fucking bills. Go support him first, then go to Hannaford. I know it's going to take an extra 3 hours, a little Facebook time.
Yeah.
I get it. But if you need to post that bad, post about the farmer and how his cool farm stands up the road.
Yeah.
That's the way that shit's going to get fixed.
Right.
You're not going to get fixed. Just, it's easier. I can pick up my fucking prescription for depression. At the same time, I can get my corn and my shitty
Well, you don't
meat.
have to fucking buy 37 different snacks if you eat a couple good meals a day of some good-ass food. You don't got to buy all the crackers and all the fucking
convenience.
Oreos and
it's a
chips.
Convenience.
Get some good food in you.
Well,
you're going to feel good. You're not going to have to eat as often.
Yeah, well, it tastes better not to.
I know. Some of that shit does taste good.
Yeah, but you're not supposed to have it every day. It's supposed to be, like, it should be one of those things.
Yeah.
Fuck. They're at a Ho-Ho's. Next week, I'm going to get those motherfuckers. Okay. That's the way it's supposed to be, not like, I would like 4 pallets of Ho-Ho's, please.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, can I get the Sam Club Ho-Ho?
Do you want it delivered? We can deliver that shit. You want to get put on what is it called? Like a monthly subscription?
Yeah, true.
Here
We'll
you
ship
go.
it right to your front fucking
I know you're
door.
on a diet, but guess what? You already paid for the fucking Ho-Ho's.
So you gotta eat
And there's
them.
some people that shit sits in their closet all night and it speaks to them. You ate so good today. You deserve me. And it's just like waking up in the middle of the night.
See, that's the thing. I hear that voice, but it's like, just don't buy the shit to begin with.
Oh,
just don't buy it.
Fuck yeah.
Just don't buy it.
100%.
Well, and that was kind of the other thing with getting into hunting. When I think it was one of
I'm going to get 2 more.
the Knox. When I had that deer steak,
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't even cooked special or anything.
Wait,
I think it just got cooked in a
the
pan
first
with some
time?
butter. Yeah. I had it when I was little, but
Yeah, but people suck at cooking wild game. I'm the one who said you gotta cook it rare.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh fuck, and then you're like, yep, gotta cook it rare.
yeah.
Gotta cook it rare.
Well, I've always leaned towards rare. I mean, medium rare is what I get shit at, but it's a different type of meat.
I know, it's completely different. And it's one of those things where I try to give it to as many people as I can, but...
Thank you. Well, the taste, the quality, and then the feeling it gave me
Right.
What are we doing?
Yeah, no.
What are we even talking about? The conversation doesn't even make sense at this point.
So if
It's the leanest fucking meat there is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's by far got the best nutrients in it out of anything compared to anything on the shelf.
Yes.
And it tastes the best.
Mm-hmm.
What?
But it's the hardest.
What are we even talking about?
It's the hardest to get.
That always makes things better. If it's harder to do and harder to get,
Not
it
for
makes
everyone.
it better.
Not for everyone.
It's just science.
Yeah, I know, but not for everyone. It's just, I mean, even doing something as easy as the pig hunt. If an average person did that, we did the math, it's $5 per pound. Where are you going to find pork for $5 a pound, organic pork? You're just not. You know what I mean?
True.
You're not, you can't go find that at the
True,
store.
plus acquiring the skill of the bow.
Yeah, but
That's
if someone wanted to
that's
go,
a whole nother thing in and of itself.
But if someone wanted to go, say your average Joe, like you're just a random dad that doesn't want to go whitetail hunting. I mean, that is a bitch. That is the you're talking, if you dedicate yourself, you could go all of November and not see anything in Maine. That's just the way it is, the way the shit's managed here.
Yeah.
But that guy goes down to the pig farm and shoots one with a rifle. And he brings that meat back. That is 50% better than what's in the store. And the stuff in the woods is 50% better than that. But even that is going to be... I mean, it's living off of just shit in the woods. It's probably more than 50% better than the shit in the store. And people are like, oh, it tastes like shit. No way.
Mm-mm.
That stuff is phenomenal. It's a lot darker than pork that you buy at the store. It's a lot more red.
Yeah.
And what I was going to say before is the difference in energy that... Like, if someone really wants to see the difference in wild game meat... I've noticed the biggest thing is wake up in the morning, don't eat anything for the whole entire day until nighttime. Cook some meat, like wild game. Eat that shit. It's going to be like Red Bull. You got to get all that other shit out, I believe. If you mix it with some bullshit, like you had some Subway for lunch, and then you eat that for dinner, you're not going to notice the biggest thing. But once all that is kind of out and it's like immediately, like it just feels like it goes directly in your blood.
Yeah.
You get
like there's no waste. I'm not taking a huge dump.
No.
I'm literally just amped up.
Yeah. You and there's no drop off.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, so you eat that shit and you're just like, whoa. You know, you just like almost feel like your blood flowing through your body and you're just like, this is weird. And a lot of people don't believe that until they actually try it. Mm. And I'm not saying mix it with a bunch of shit. Just eat that. Just eat that. Don't eat macaroni. Don't fucking...
In a pan with butter.
Eat some, chop suey with it.
Maybe green beans.
Just eat that first. And then you're going to be like, oh, okay. Yeah, I need that. And then you think, okay, well, if I eat a pound of meat a day, I need a lot of meat a year. I mean...
Well, and then my whole
pounds.
thing with the whole, it's gamey. Well, okay, first of all, how'd you cook it? Who cooked it? Did they suck? Because that's definitely a skill, just like anything else.
It's not gamey. It tastes like something.
Well, and that's my other point. You're just used to this watered-down bullshit in Hannaford that tastes like absolutely nothing. It has no taste.
Yeah,
that's
right.
weird to me.
It tastes like water.
That's weird. It should taste like something.
Yeah.
I think you need to get the fuck over it. This is kind of what I think. If you think it's gamey, literally start like people don't listen to their body at all. No. Start to actually like instead of just what tastes the best, like
this second.
Pay fucking attention to what's going on, and
right.
Within a few hours, the next day, the next morning, like how do you feel? Then let me know.
I don't get why people aren't prescribing food for depression. I mean, you slug a fucking 2-liter Mountain Dew every day for a year, you're going to be depressed.
And watch some fucking murder mystery shows for 4 hours.
Well, no, then you... Okay, let's picture the average American. The average American wakes up, probably gets a breakfast sandwich or something somewhere, drinks some soda.
They're at Dunkin'.
They're on their phone watching everybody do, like, Instagram, you watch it, and everybody's fucking the best.
Yeah.
You know? And then your lunch,
best life.
You probably eat some bullshit. You probably eat fast food 3 times a week. You go home, you probably drink a soda and eat some bullshit for dinner. And then you watch the fucking news. And then you eat some more. Guaranteed. Or you drink.
Dude, probably drink, yeah.
Don't take depression medicine. Wipe it out.
Yeah.
Just go do nothing. Just take a week on vacation and do nothing. Tell me you're fucking depressed. You're not gonna be depressed. You're gonna be like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm gonna go build a fire. Oh, cool. Fires are cool. Now I can access my thoughts.
Yeah, I know.
Cool. I'm not listening to
I can access my thoughts.
fucking them talk about Trump and Sleepy Joe and all this shit.
It's true, though.
It'll make you crazy. Because then you're so bored. You're just like, I'm gonna go fucking argue with this guy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go, hey, what do you think? And then, I think the opposite. Perfect.
Well, that's the
I'm
thing. It's
really
like,
pissed.
People do that. They live that lifestyle, and they're ready to be upset because you feel like shit.
Yeah.
You're ready to just be upset all the time.
Yeah.
It's not like, what? Why would you want that?
Oh, you run into my truck today? Fuck it, whatever, I'm like, shit, it'll fix
We can fix it. It's not total.
It'll be fine.
Be all right.
As long as it's not something like, hey, I dropped a box of nails in your driveway and I just didn't feel like picking them up. Well, I might be a little pissed about that, but, like this morning, perfect example. Guy shows up to Silicone fucking building. And the guy's loading the skylift, okay? There's maybe a minute. This guy's going to be out of his way in 1 minute.
How late was he already?
I'm going to be there at 7. Be fucking ready. I'll tell people right now, if you're going to tell me early morning, no fucks given. I'll get up at 3. I don't care. It doesn't bother me at all. I wake up and I can go.
Yeah.
This guy, be ready at 7. 7's nothing for me. So I got up and watered plants. And then came here at 7. No one here at 7. No one here at 7:45. All right, well, I got some shit to go get. Jake needs the camera. I'm going to go home and get the camera. I was like, I know he's going to show up when I pull off.
Of course.
Guy's coming to pick up the scissor lift. He's going to be out of here by 8:10. No problem to me. Motherfucker's already late. Wouldn't have to deal with this if he was here on time.
Yeah.
So I go home and I get a phone call. This guy's flipping the fuck out because the Augusta tool rental guy, I was like, okay, I know Brad. He's going to have that shit out in...
He's probably already almost done.
30 seconds.
Yeah.
30 seconds. He wants it out as bad as I do. So this guy's flipping out. Oh, this isn't right, and this is that. This is wrong. This is this. And I said, dude, just do your job. If it's fucked up because of me,
then it's fucked up because of me.
I'm good. I'm good. What's the big deal? Meanwhile, half a pack of cigarettes has blown through his lungs in 4 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, oh my God. Like,
you wonder why you're on screech.
Well, just fucking angry.
Yeah.
Just pissed. That is, to me, I'm like, that is some people's food. It's like.
For sure.
What do they say about Sleepy Joe?
Well, I know coffee's bad enough.
Chinese buffet, now.
But yeah, some people are like that, especially with cigarettes. That's what they're living on.
It's like our friend Andrew delivering Chinese food. He's like, dude, we sell probably $4,000 in Chinese food a night. What?
Yeah, that's...
One Chinese restaurant out of 10 in Augusta, Maine?
That's why there's so many.
That's just... When do the calls come in? When the news airs? Is that, what I mean? Yeah, I ate a salad, but fuck, I need some crab rangoons. I'm pissed off. They're talking about Sleepy Joe.
Yeah, they're back on Sleepy Joe.
I'm like, and people try to, like, that's a part of the other reason why I can't do get-togethers. It's like, when I do a get-together, I invite all my friends, and that's just bullshit. But when other people are involved, it's like, did you hear about this, Hillary Clinton, and this and that? And I go...
It does seem, as I get older and the age of the people I'm hanging out with is older, eventually the conversation ends up there.
Yeah.
And it's like...
And it's all these people that used to think politics and the news were bullshit, and now they're just getting old, and,
we have to talk about something, right?
Well, no,
let's fucking talk about this bullshit.
They got a 1-year-old baby, right? And they don't want to take the fucking baby outside.
Well, that's the thing. Everyone's a life coach all of a sudden. Take the fuck care of yourself.
Yeah.
Half of you are not doing that. It's fucking like, stop coaching everybody else.
And have you noticed how people are so scared of everything all the time now? It's like, I told somebody the other day, this winter, I'm going snowboarding with my friend. I had never been. He's going to, I'm either just going to bomb it by myself or he's going to show me what to do. And they're like, you're going to fucking go snowboarding? You can break your back. You could fucking break your arm. You could break your neck.
Yeah, see.
What about, I said, are we kidding here?
All true. But driving to work every day, you could die. Guess what?
This is what I said. I said,
I'm living.
How do you get to work every day? Well, I drive my fucking whatever 1,000-pound vehicle feet from other ones.
Yeah, 60 miles an hour.
And you see what happens when your buddy's driving you around texting. You know, picture some kid at 8:30 in the morning that's had 4 fucking sodas, that's ready to sleep, and he's texting. You're not scared of that?
Well, I remember me in high school in the morning.
You should be driving a Humvee.
Yeah.
If you're worried about me breaking my back on a snowboard, I can control the speed.
Yeah, right?
It's like the variables compared to driving down the road are kind of in my favor, even though I have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I just go sideways, you know, enjoy the view.
Yeah, turn it sideways.
At 0.2 miles an hour, good. You know. Meanwhile,
at
you
worst
have no
you fall
control
on snow
over that
unless
dude in the
you're
dump
going
truck.
off fucking rocky cliff faces, but yeah.
It's like what are, like any day anything could happen anyways. It's like, oh, you fucking gonna drive across country to go to Oregon to elk hunt? Yes. I'm not going on a plane. I looked up at a plane flight. The quickest plane I can get to Oregon is 36 hours right now.
Yeah.
Dude, driving's 46.
Well, then the meat.
And I get to see some cool shit.
Well, right? You get to experience the whole country, basically.
I don't know what fucking Hell's Canyon is, but I'm going to look at it. I have no idea.
What, are you posting on the gram?
I'm just going to drive out there, see what that shit looks like. I know so many people that doesn't even know what the Midwest is.
Yeah.
They just are like, yeah, it's probably a lot of corn.
Yeah.
You know, that was one of the things when I went to Wisconsin where I was like, dude, this is crazy. Like, you think.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I've never understood people say, like, the anti-travelers. Like, yeah, I don't have the urge to just go fucking explore the whole world. But to say you don't want to go see something, that's kind of crazy to me. Like, don't you want to go see it?
Oh, I see shit online.
Do you want to go see that?
I see shit on a video, and I'm like, I want to go there today.
Yeah.
Like, I get what they do. I don't get so much the France thing, you know?
Yeah.
The
cities, to me, don't intrigue me.
But Australia, I'm like, dude, I know, this is my thing. I've fucking fallen, I've tripped, I've come near death so many times. I'm not going to throw in spiders and snakes in the mix. I want to go to Australia so fucking bad, but I know.
Oh, Australia.
I know I'm going to get myself into I don't give a fuck mode. I know that. And I'm going to go do something, and something's going to happen with one of those things.
Yeah.
I just know.
Yes.
I'm going to throw caution to the wind, because if I'm going to Australia, I'm definitely going to be hunting something. Okay? And I'm going to be like, oh, fuck that. I don't care. I'm going right through this, and there's probably just spiders. I mean, you see the Adam
That's
Green
what I'm
tree.
worried about, yeah. Not the big ones, though. I'm worried about the little shit you
I'm
can't
worried
see.
about all of them. They all do the same thing. Baby snake will probably fucking drop you.
Well, yeah, but
I don't
that's the
want my
thing.
leg
The
cut
small
off.
shit you can't see. That big-ass spider, I'll see it. That little fucking poisonous thing. Like the poisonous frogs, that's what I've always been worried about. A little poisonous frog. You don't even see it.
I mean...
Oh, guess what? Hand's gone. Fucking lop that bitch off.
Dude, I don't know. I know there's no snakes in Maine that kill you, but...
Maine's perfect.
Me being
Maine's perfect.
the cave person that I am, I see a snake, I'm like, that needs to die. And I'm like, well, it doesn't really need to. I just had that impulse.
Yeah.
Like, if I would have just... 5 seconds were in my hand and I had a 12 gauge, and I just would have just... Instinct.
I know, your reaction would be boom.
You see a snake, and you're like, fuck, bang! I'm like, nobody I've ever known has died from a snake.
No, but I think that's one of those, similar to the hunting feeling, it's one of those evolutionary, like, reactions. You see a snake, normally dangerous, stay the fuck away.
It's like...
Kind of like a spider. You see a spider, even though I'm not scared of fucking spiders, but you see a spider, you're like, oh, fuck, it's a spider. Like,
you just look at it, and you're just like, that thing
just creeps me the fuck out.
That used to kill my ancestors. That bitch needs to die. And it's the same kind of argument about the wolf and the mountain lion thing that's going on right now west. Is supposedly, I don't know if they've done it, they're supposed to do it. They're supposed to release wolves into Yellowstone because they have an overpopulation problem with elk and shit. And I'm like, you don't even fucking know what you're doing. You don't even wolf.
As long as they also do that with a tag system for wolves as well.
Why?
I mean, I think it's crazy, but that's the only way you could logically reason to do it.
The state,
because you got to kill some too. They're gonna kill everything.
The state last year brought in $1 billion with hunting license sales
On elk.
No,
or like
all
just,
animals.
Yeah.
So sell more, close the park down and kill some elk.
Well, yeah. I mean,
They're letting wolves go. Do you know what wolves do? Do you?
They kill.
Everything.
Murder.
Everything. And they have babies.
They're killers.
People don't know. They have fucking puppies.
A lot.
And what do they do?
A litter of puppies.
A mom needs to teach her babies how to kill. They fucking killing everything. I mean, and what's the first thing that's going to die?
Well, I was going to say, they're one of the few animals that kills to kill, right? Just
they
to kill
kill
shit.
Well, mountain lions the worst, but they had this
But they're
problem.
not mountain lions,
they had
they're
this
pack
problem
hunters.
in another state. I don't remember where it was. Or it was Canada. Where they let these fuckers go. And guess what?
Was it Yellowstone already? I feel like
No.
No? They're talking about doing that?
And it's
That's
like...
so ridiculous.
And people don't understand. You're not going to go see wolves. You're not just going to go see wolf. You're not going to see them. They're like bear. You're not just going to go up in there and be like, oh, cool.
I bet somebody's hoping that, though. I guarantee it.
Of course they're hoping that. I mean, it's crazy. Just like mountain lions. Like, it sucks to say. Like, I know we're super safe in this country. But those motherfuckers were killed for a reason. Like it's like the killing of lions in Africa. People are against it.
Yeah.
But the people that live in Africa are like, kill them all.
Yeah.
Kill them all because they kill my family. That's what they do. They just come in your place when there's no food and they'll kill you. Like mountain lions in California, you're gonna start seeing that shit.
The animals are scared of us to a point, and then if you aren't armed, you're outgunned. Every single predator animal on the planet,
dude,
can kill us.
Mountain lions, though.
Yeah, that's why I said when we were shooting the fucking course, that's the last thing I would want to be in the woods with. A bear would be probably close second, but those things you're not going to hear them.
Dude,
you're dead.
It's that between a giant grizzly and a mountain lion.
Yeah. You're not going to hear a mountain lion.
Right.
If they don't want you to know they're there, you don't know.
Yeah, so you're going to slowly get your head shooen off. With a mountain lion and you're not going to hear it, but with a grizzly bear, it's going to be 1 minute of so scared because you know it's there.
Yeah.
That thing's going to be like, "What's up, bitch?"
Doing the jaw thing.
Yeah. And you're just mauled into a pulp. It's one of those things.
It's a thing people have forgotten. How outgunned we are against real predator animals, and they think, "Oh yeah, we don't want them to go extinct." I mean, I get that, but
and they don't need to go extinct.
The huge dynamic everyone seems to forget is the amount of land we've taken from them. I know you don't want to think of it that way, but that's the fact. You've lessened the amount of land that they can roam on.
Yes.
It means their numbers have to be less
unless
you want them around you.
They keep reproducing. Okay, so there's a mathematical equation there.
Mm-hmm.
Cut it down, stop building, or manage it. And it makes the states a fuckload of money.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's one of those things. If we're going to keep building, there's not going to be any left anyways other than a zoo.
Well, that's the thing. They want to play that game. Like, we want to just... You can't do that in every aspect of life. Like, it's an equation with everything. They want to keep every person alive. They want to keep every animal alive. They want to... It's just impossible standards that some of these people expect. And with no logic behind their reasoning. Like, yeah, I get your feelings. You want everyone to do well and everything to do well, but that's not life.
No, it can't.
The balance, the way this is set up, doesn't work that way.
No, definitely not.
Things die to make room for other things, and that's just the way it's been.
Yeah, and that's the way you keep, disease out.
Disease out, because that's what disease is basically culling. The numbers, there's a balance.
Yeah.
And there's checks and balances, and think humans think that they can fucking just engineer their way out of anything.
Yeah.
And they have the best idea, and no, I'm sorry, but sometimes we do, and a lot of times we don't.
And the thing that a lot of people don't want to admit is what we do every single day is the most imperfect thing. You go in the woods, it's so perfect. Nobody wants to understand that because it's brutal.
I know.
But the plants are flowering perfectly. There's birds. There's deer, there's animals, there's shit living in the forest floor. It all works perfectly in unison.
The microbial life in the soil.
And guess what?
The sun, like the whole
Nobody's protesting. You know what I mean? Yeah, everybody's in the food chain. No. Everyone's knows like, oh, that
I fill a niche or I die.
Yeah, I fucking broke my leg because I was doing something stupid, then guess what? I'm getting eaten alive by a coyote. I mean, it's just the way shit works. It's like, you fuck up out there.
The crazy part is for a good portion of the world, it still is that way.
Mm-hmm.
For us here, it's not.
Right.
And it's gotten, I think that's our biggest problem. People have gotten so out of touch. I mean, I'm 29? Lived a pretty comfortable life, but like, until you can really see through other people's eyes and like, which is always hard because you're not in their space to feel what they feel, but there's so many different perspectives, and the U.S. tends to forget that. And Maine in particular, because everyone's so sheltered up here. Like Maine's awesome.
Yeah.
Maine's the fucking best.
Right.
But we're sheltered as fuck.
Yeah, and
it's like people basically have just forgotten about Maine, which to me is awesome.
Until now. Until all this shit's going on, because everyone's moving.
It highlights safer places, and I think that's like Maine is that place, but people tend to forget what's really going on out there and how wild it is. Yeah,
and I talk to people like in my family that have never been anywhere, and I'm like, you go down into the city, like a real city. I'm not talking about like
not Portland.
Yeah. So not even Boston, but you hang around New York City or you hang around Philly, Detroit, any of those cities like that. Everything's great in the rich part of town, but take a walk around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
And then tell me you're going to think the way you do about whatever you think up here.
Yeah.
Because all these people think, this is easy. You have to do is go to work every day and bag groceries and you're going to be a manager someday. And it's like, dude, some people don't know how to fucking read.
Yeah.
And it's not their fault.
They had no parents. Lucky to maybe have one parent. And dude, I've been saying this to you for a while, like, our biggest problem is the education system. I only went to a few schools, and I could see some glaring problems at what were technically pretty good schools.
Yeah, right.
So I can only fucking imagine what's going on at certain other schools in certain cities and whatever.
When 70% of the kids that attend are on welfare, your school gets no money.
Well, and then you hear all those stats. I mean, to go along with that, all those stats about kids that basically weren't going to get lunch.
Yeah, right.
If they didn't go to school.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
So who are we fucking blame? You're going to blame the kids once they get 18 that they're not this model fucking citizen that you wanted?
Yeah.
No shit, they're not.
Right.
They don't even know what that means.
No.
They don't even know to care about that. Like, it's just the disconnect in that simple part. I mean, as a kid, how much time did you spend at school from ages, 3 or 4 to 18?
Yeah.
You're there most of the time, most of the year.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. And then you look at it like, we went to, I'm going to say, a fairly wealthy high school. And I don't know one teacher in there.
One that got nationally ranked, I remember, from some of our test scores a few years, which...
I didn't have a single teacher that, like, helped, that I could say changed my life in any way. Yeah. I had a coach, but it wasn't high school coach.
Nope.
Same. And it's just like, I can't imagine what it would be like a school that's like, I'm sure there's schools 20 tiers down, and what that would be like. Mm-hmm. Like, a lot of people that we know that were teaching were just doing it just to get by and collect a check.
I was going to say, it was an easy thing to get into.
Granted, we didn't make it easy, but the same thing is like, you have one of those, and it sucks to say for young boys, that male teacher that sits you the fuck down.
Well, in part, part of that no matter where you are, inner city or not, their whole approach to education.
Yeah.
For especially younger kids.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, maybe in high school you can sit me down most of the day and try to teach me shit.
Oh,
okay,
shit.
fine. But
Barely.
But especially as a young kid?
Yeah.
The fuck do you expect? I'm
Yeah.
a ball of energy that doesn't know jack shit.
You have ADHD.
I don't even know to want to pay attention to you, that it's going to benefit me. Get this energy out, and then maybe I'll listen to something you say.
Oh, hell yeah, you know? Oh, you're being a dick. Take a lap. Some kids take 10 laps a day. Some kids take none.
I literally had lap time.
Yeah.
When I was in middle school.
Yeah, you know, and ADHD.
Yeah, take a pill. Take a pill, buddy.
Like, dude, you know, that kid is going to fucking, you know.
That kid's got the raw energy. Direct it towards something.
You tell him to sweep the floor, he's going to fucking sweep the floor.
And it's going to be the cleanest floor you've had probably in months.
Yeah, as long as I get to sweep the floor, you know.
Yeah. Oh,
But
these kids don't? Fuck yeah.
It's
I'm
like,
not gonna listen to your ass.
They just want this. They just want this box, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's
people aren't set up like that.
That's why I'm just looking at it and I'm like, I'm not even letting my kid. Like my kid dealt with. He went to a school in Augusta, it was a private school, but it was just bullshit. The whole thing was fucking bullshit, and I'm like, this is a joke. You know, it's like one thing when someone is like, dude, yeah, we're fucking up. Like, let's fix it. But when people are pretending, they put the face on, like they're this, and meanwhile, you're not proving it. I'm like, this is a joke. This is a joke.
Well, okay, so that to me, all those little things connect back to the hunting aspect, because the more we've grown up and the more shit we've done on, I mean, especially you on your own, making this whole Reaper Ridge thing, and like adults don't know shit.
No.
Everyone acts and talks like they have it all figured out. No one knows what the fuck they're doing.
No, never.
So like, to constantly take advice from these talking heads on TV and whoever in the media, like, it's like, you guys don't know what the fuck you're doing.
No.
None of you do, and it's very obvious. So we're just gonna do our own thing.
Well, they trick you into giving them money.
Yeah, that's
their job, is to keep tricking you. Well, hey, you know, just keeping the rope.
Yeah.
They just
come on, get a little.
Oh, if we just get to here,
It'll be a little quicker next time.
Fucking Democrats out of here, everything will be okay. It's like, it's not gonna be okay, because everything's gonna swing over to fucking this side, and you know what's gonna happen? Probably segregation or something.
Guess what? People are still gonna be people. There's gonna be a lot of fucking problems. And you guys don't want to have real conversations to figure the shit out. So I'm just going to step the fuck back.
It's like, let's just like play this whole little thing for 1 year where everyone gets held accountable that holds a state, town, state, or federal job. And you get held accountable for the shit you do. Yeah. And guess what? If you make $250 a year and you're not getting your shit done, let fucking Johnny No Name come in and try to do the job. You know? And just see. Just treat it like a sports team. Well, you know, everyone should have stats. Yeah. You know, the fucking pitcher's not getting it done anymore. Yeah, let's try the backup.
Anytime anyone's more accountable for their shit, they step it up.
But it's just all the money gets thrown in this pile and just, hey,
burn it. You might as well fucking burn the shit.
We'll pave the roads once every 15 years. You know what I mean?
And by pave, I mean patch. We are not fucking paving that road.
You drive down most city roads and state roads in Maine, and you could hit a fucking pothole that takes your life.
Yeah. But by the way, get your car inspected next year, motherfucker.
Yeah, dude.
Well, fuck you.
Like, I hit this one in Bangor that ripped my tire off of my car, and the town was like, well, you should have swerved.
Yeah.
And I said, there's 2 lines.
Oncoming traffic, duh.
There's 2 lines. I have to stay. The only rule is stay in between them.
I know.
I stay in between them, and I rip my tire off, and I'm a fucking 19, 20-year-old kid in college that can't afford it, but it's my fault?
Yeah.
Motherfucker, dude. Luckily, I knew a dude that was in my class that was from the town, and he got them to pay for it.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. But I was like, still. You know what I mean? Like,
well, the hassle.
Held accountable?
The hassle.
Fill it full of dirt.
Oh, Jesus.
At least you're not ripping a tire off.
Dude. You've seen them out there.
I haven't. That's the problem.
Yeah, I know. They're never fucking out there.
That's the fucking problem.
Except for it's like 9:30 to 11:30 in the morning. All right, we might be doing something. After that, it's a cigarette break.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's just crazy, but I feel like it's there's a lot of people out there that would bust their ass if they were taught that that's what you do, but they just see from the top down. Well, I guess today that, we need to get 40 hours in, so sweep the shop floor again.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where it's like, give the dude the option to go home early and take less money for the week. Maybe he doesn't give a shit. 37 hours is fine. He'll go home and enjoy the day with his family. The whatever, $34 he would have made is... Some people just don't give a shit.
Well, I think a big part of that is... people not having a dad around.
Yeah.
Because if there's one theme that I've noticed is... Like, not to take anything away from single moms. It's... You're doing the best you can, but... If that father figure's not there... And my dad. It's not like he's fucking coaching you or anything.
Right.
Most of the time he's not saying shit.
Right.
But it's that constant reminder of what you're supposed to do all the time.
Yeah.
Whether or not you get thanked for it, whether or not anyone even fucking appreciates it.
Like,
there's things you're supposed to do and you go do that shit. And I think people without fathers miss out on that a lot.
They do, and it's they sometimes are pretty, they're like, they'll almost rebel because they did, like a lot of people when they have a gap in their life, they rebel and they kind of don't know why for a while. Like,
well, that's the biggest thing with dads.
Yeah,
you get checked.
Yeah,
quickly sometimes,
but they're also just shitbags. That's the thing, is they're shitbags. True. And then there's some like super fucking moms out there, but it is good for kids to see the back and forth. I was like, me and Lindsay, I'm like, I'm not... For one thing, we don't argue.
That's definitely
unless it's
true.
Stupid.
Yeah.
But when we do, they see, blah, 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 blah. Oh, yeah, I fucked up.
Yeah.
I fucked up. I'm sorry. I had a bad day. And then the kids are like, oh, that's how you do that.
Yeah.
It's not like... You
don't push it to this
boiling
point, yeah.
And everybody knows he's wrong,
yeah.
And everybody goes to bed pissed off. No, that's not the way it fucking works.
Yeah.
That's important for kids to see, and even do it, like I even do it with my kids. I'm like, dude, why are you angry? What are you mad about? Like, I can tell you're pissed. You're just looking to get a rise out of me for me to snap. So what is it? And I was like, go in your room for 20 minutes and think about it. Just to get them in that zone where, like, if you're feeling like...
Is it worth it?
If you're feeling wound up, just go think about it for a minute. And is it a big deal? Well, my toy got broken. Well, buddy, look. It's not that big a deal.
Yeah.
It's just a fucking toy. I'm not buying you another one because you did break it. But...
Yeah.
Next time. And then it's like, all right, it's okay. But...
Well, dude, just that little bit of attention...
Yeah.
Like you, I don't know who it was, if it was Willie or Waylon, but they're little pieces of you. It was kind of like a conversation I was having with Ogren the other day about being able to communicate with animals. Like, obviously, you're never fucking really talking to the animal. The animal's not communicating with you that way, but the look.
Yeah.
And you picking up on their demeanor and vice versa, I think, as a parent that's paying attention, it's a little piece of you. Yeah, that motherfucker's a little piece of you.
Yeah, and you know when you're getting distant with something that you shouldn't be. Like a pet. You're leaving your pet alone for too long. That motherfucker's going to look at you and just be like, dude, you bring me for a walk today? Because if not, I'm shitting right there.
Yeah, I'm about to act out.
I'm going to shit right there.
I'm about to act out.
I'm going to chew that shit. And that's the thing. It's like in my house, if my kid's talking to you and you're on your phone, I'm about to slap it out your hand because I hate that.
Yeah.
When someone's talking to you and you're just like, yeah, wait, what was that again? I'm like, not repeating, dude. Not repeating. And it's just one of those things. It's like even when my dog, like I'm hanging out with my dog, it's like, put that shit away. Like this is more important. This is always more important than that. That can always wait. Always wait. It's like, focus on those stupid little things and just take care of it.
Yeah.
And your life will get a lot better. It's like...
Well, yeah, because it's like animals and kids, they pick up on that, like, oh, that's a little bit more important than me right now? All right, well, fuck me, I guess.
Yeah, and then
then
they're offended. Like when you're in middle school and your friend doesn't listen to you. Oh, fuck you.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I was talking. Fuck you. You know, it's like one of those things where it should piss them off. They should be mad.
Yeah.
I mean, the kids, the dogs, everybody. Any person that's like, hey, you know, what are you doing over there on your phone? You're reading a status of some girl that's whining about how bad her life is that lives in the USA. Okay, put it a fucking way.
Yeah.
Because it's trash.
Yeah, and that goes to your point about people saying they don't have time.
I know. Because I try to make it.
Well, dude, because for a long time, that was my thing with hunting. I'm like, dude, to take the time.
Yeah.
To just go sit in the fucking woods.
It's a lot.
To just go sit in the fucking woods. But
it clears
when you think about it.
The ether.
The time, like, you have the time. You have the time.
You can make it.
You have the time.
You can make it. If you want to. You can make the time for anything if you want to.
Yeah.
But it's like, when are we going to do it? Because I'm at the point now where if I add anything else on, we're talking 4 a.m., waking up. And then whatever happens in the afternoon is what happens. But it's one of those things where it's like, might as well not sleep if it's worth it. If there's another thing that comes around, like bow hunting.
Yeah.
Another thing that's like, thank God there's not like an overlap in snowboarding, hunting.
Not
you know,
really,
like you were giving me shit about golf. I'm like, dude, have some fucking kids. Shoot your bow all the time.
That's true.
Run a grow, and tell me you can go play golf for 5 hours.
Yeah, that's true.
And not go home, like you said, having not paid attention to my family and just being like, hey, I had a great day. I fucking sucked at golf. I'm pretty wasted. You guys still like me?
Very true.
They're like, no. The fuck? I was trapped in the house all day.
Yeah, that's why I've only given you shit a handful of times, and it's just a bust your balls.
Oh, I get it. I'm glad. I'm glad. But it's like, Lindsay is the best mom, I think, in the whole entire world. And someday she's like, you need to come home and deal with these boys because they just, I mean, it's...
Because they're little U's and it's pissing me off.
Well, it's just boys. It's like dad comes home and it doesn't matter. I'm just like, hey, you know, you guys...
Yeah.
It's just a different
Well, that's what I mean. With boys specifically. I mean, girls too. There's a dad-daughter relationship that's different than dad and mom.
Oh, yeah.
It's just different.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and there's, like, boys and their moms. And it just all depends. Like, you know, sometimes, I don't even know if it was really a thing.
I think you need both because, I mean, the majority of people aren't both. And that's just the way it is.
Like, I think sometimes it's kind of bullshit that, you know, you watch old, like, I say 90s movies. And there's the perfect family.
Yeah. All this, well,
and the grandfather's like the best dude in the world, and he teaches all the life lessons to the grandkids, and dad works his ass off and loves mom, and everything's good.
Yeah.
I don't think that really exists, but it's something very good to shoot for. There's nothing wrong with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of people forget that. Like, dude.
Yeah, they're like, oh, Uncle fucking Randy's crazy. Like, great.
Everybody needs crazy.
Add some fucking spice to your life, because those people are what make your life your life.
And dude,
life.
Those people love you more than anybody in your family.
Yeah.
The crazy ones are like, someone need to get stabbed.
Yeah. Well, like you were saying about school, they want everything to be in this box.
Yeah.
I don't want the boxes. I want the individuals.
And it's like, oh, well, he's the black sheep. Well, everybody should be some sort of black sheep.
Yeah.
Because everybody should be like, oh.
You should have your thing.
I love talking about my friends. Like, that fucker's crazy. He, you know, goes and skis over the rocks and does all the stupid shit. I'm never going to do that. And then this guy over here does this and this guy over here does this. You know, the people that just do this, you know, cruise control, 70 miles an hour, gets through life. It's like, what are we going to talk about? And that's when it goes back to the politics thing. Like, I'd rather call up my buddy Jordan and be like, dude, tell me about this fucking Colorado trip again, rather than have to hear about Sleepy Joe.
Yeah.
Or whatever, you know, like whatever the thing of the week is.
Some waste of time thing.
And I'm so glad I'm disconnected, because people be like, you hear about the fucking pedophile ring? And I'm like, no, but I believe it.
I was going to say, could have guessed it.
I mean,
You seen Sleepy Joe?
At this point, I wouldn't doubt anything.
True.
There's nothing I would be like, oh, there's rich people that molest kids. I'm like, well, if there's money involved, I'm sure.
Exactly.
You know, like a lot of people that I know that make a lot of money, you know, they give a lot of it away just to keep themselves sane, because there's these people that come around, like I said, that just make money off of fucking taking people off of ideas.
Yeah.
Your ideas aren't worth anything unless you build your idea. Build the fucking idea.
Show me.
Yeah,
Show
not just like,
me.
hey, you know, if you hand over $50,000, we're really gonna ride into the sunset. And it's like, well, he's gonna need 50 4 months from now, over and over and over again. Yeah. It's just foolish. I just don't understand. But I'm just basically now the way I see it is I'm sitting back, enjoying the ride, and just watching, like, what's gonna happen here. Basically, you know,
it's just a wild dynamic. The whole tax thing makes it such a weird dynamic because, like, you got to pay a majority of your money, which is what 50%. You need. What you need to do things is money. As unfortunate as that is, you need money.
Right.
I didn't set that up. I kind of got to live with what's been set up. Yeah, I could go full fucking woodsman, but I like some modern shit.
Yeah, it is every once in a while for sure. But I mean, a part of me is like, one of these days.
Well, the bow, case in point.
Yeah, one of these.
The only way that comes about is technology.
Yeah. But like, I've been thinking for a while. One of these days, I'm gonna get the time and I'm gonna fucking go up in the mountains for like 10 days, and
just see what you can do.
Just go, you know, somewhere.
I told you I watched that show alone.
Yeah.
It would be a test.
And
it looks like the grind.
Yeah.
Like people talk about they grind. That's a grind.
But
that's a real grind.
But this is my thing. Say you got, I know I have probably 3, maybe 4 friends that would be down.
I'd be down to try it for a week.
You go.
I don't know about 10 days.
You go plan for 10. You know. You go do that. Okay. You go. You get like you've got 4 people there. You're getting put. You're not going to be the bitch. So you go for 10 days.
Yeah. And
you do it. The rest of the year's cake.
Well, yeah.
The rest of the year, you're sleeping in your fucking bed. You're taking a shower. You're like, what? What's wrong with you? Okay.
Yeah, you have a problem. Oh, that's not a problem, sir. Not
a problem. You know,
we didn't have food for 3 fucking days. Okay. I was eating fucking ferns.
I just watched this episode of Gritty Bowman, and
I haven't watched that show.
One of the dudes, they're in like, it's like they're mule deer hunting in December up in the mountains. It's like 2 degrees out.
Yeah.
They one of the dudes forgot his sleeping bag. Yeah. Forgot his sleeping bag and had to sleep in the other dude's sleeping bag with him the whole trip.
What the fuck? How? Out of all things.
Oh, I know. It's so awesome. But whatever, right?
I mean, as long, I guess.
But one of these days,
I hope it was fucking cold, so staying next to each other wasn't that weird. But
it was cold. I mean, if it was 10 degrees during the daytime.
Yeah, this is probably negative at night. So yeah, it's pretty cold.
Yeah, and some people have a fireplace in their tent. They have a little.
Damn.
You can get a fireplace with a chimney jack that goes through the top of the tent.
They would have to.
Right, and it's like one of those things. Do we want to pack it all the way in? I mean, I think they were 7 miles in. You know, they were sleeping at like 8,000 feet of elevation. So it's like, do you want to add another 10 pounds to everyone's pack? Or are we going to not have a fucking stove? You know? Because when they do those Alaska trips, they pack those stoves in for sure.
For sure.
But it's like, it's a crazy thing to plan, you know? That's why I've been talking to Jordan, is doing 15 days in Idaho in September.
In the mountains or something?
All alone.
All alone?
Yeah, there's a guy that's coming to stay with him for the first 5 days, and then. So me being me, I'm like, dude.
Is that like something you have to do to get a guide permit?
No, so.
Like, what's he doing?
So
what's his end goal? Because I know he has some fucking.
So this is the thing with these units is the best hunting is as far off the trailhead as you can get.
Makes sense. Animals figure that out pretty quick.
And the best permits are certain units.
Yeah.
So if you want to hunt,
I just always assume the units are huge, but I've never looked at them.
they're massive.
Yeah.
They are massive, yes. But you want to get as far away from anybody as you can. So the way to do it is hike 7 miles off the trailhead, way into the wilderness, and then because you're not walking back at the end of the day.
No, you're camping.
So you're camping out. So he thinks because so this is the tough thing. So you're spotting. You're using a spotting scope, glassing. You might see a elk at half a mile away. Well, it takes you the whole day to put that stock on.
If you're playing the wind and all that.
Yeah. Well, if it's half a mile away and you got to go up 8,000 feet and then over and then down or whatever it is, you gotta plan that. You basically one stock could be your whole day.
Yeah.
And then you're going back to camp and it's
kind of what I gathered from those Cam Hanes videos.
Yeah, I don't think he does much of that, but
well, not as far as like super mountainous, but basically you get one shot a day. You're gonna stock on one animal.
It all depends because this is public land he's hunting. So, like the place that we're going is 180,000 private acres. We're basically buying a trespass tag.
Yeah. Okay.
So they only let a certain amount of people in. But where he's going is public land, like national forest. Anybody can go anytime.
Mm-hmm.
So
they just have to be willing to go back.
It's not regulated.
Yeah.
So it's just like deer, Like if I went up there and I saw a spike elk, I'd shoot the fucking thing, no doubt about it.
Oh.
I would, no doubt about it. I mean, first time I went,
You'd have to have a tag.
Yeah. You buy a tag.
Like a super pack tag.
No, it's just like you either get a bull or cow or you buy either one you want.
Yeah.
But you just it's called over the counter, and some of them you have to draw for, just like the moose tags here. But
okay.
Yeah, so he goes up in there and he wants to kill a trophy. Not a trophy, but he wants to kill a mature elk. And dude, it is a motherfucker.
Has he done it before? Gone elk hunting?
Oh yeah, he's been doing this shit for a while. He's crazy about it.
I knew he had been, but I didn't know he went elk hunting.
He shot a smasher of a mule deer last year. Yeah, he's been doing everything.
Rifle, bow?
All bow, pretty much. I mean, I think he shot an elk last year with a gun. But, I mean, it's crazy doing, and the pictures and shit he gets, you're not just getting that going wherever.
No. He does seem to be doing it the right way.
And I think once you backpack in, you're never going to just go...
I mean, yeah.
Four-wheeler in from now on.
You did the ultimate.
Yeah.
Why would you downgrade?
It's the ultimate vacation. Because like I said, you come back and you take your first shower. Can you imagine?
That's what I said. That's kind of what I was giving you a hard time about taking the fucking camper to Total Archery. I just don't even want it. I don't want to deal with it.
A camper?
I want the tent. I want the sleeping bag. I want the bed, the pillow. I want to get a little fucking wet every night. I just want to camp. I just want to camp.
You're comparing Total Archery Challenge to backpack hunting in Idaho?
No, I'm just saying as far as
what we should do is pack all the way up to the top of the slope, tent out, and then hike down, and then ride the thing back up and shoot the course. Yeah. If you really want an adventure, I mean, shit, you could.
We're not even doing that, are we?
It's been canceled. It was canceled this year.
Nuh-uh. I told you they rescheduled it.
No, they just canceled it. 3 weeks ago. It would have already gone by.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah. They canceled the whole thing.
I knew we were
Vermont wasn't going to fuck around.
I know they're the case with the state with the least amount of cases, I guess.
Vermont? Yeah, they don't. I mean, they were definitely not going to allow it to happen. I mean, they've shut the fuck down.
Fuck.
Yeah, no, that's done. That's toasted. Your head is under the ground more than me, but I got the email, So what I told him is they want to send us our money back, and I was like, fuck it, keep it. I was like, send us a picture of all you guys signed for the podcast. So they're gonna send us.
I was gonna say keep it for next year.
Yeah, I said just keep it at you guys are losing money. Yeah. I said you guys are fucked. I was like it's like $50.
Yeah. That's what Dad said kind of about Sugarloaf because I had that season pass there. I'm like, Dude, I'm not gonna give them shit and ask for money back.
Are they gonna open? I wonder.
This winter, dude.
Rumors limited lifts,
What does that mean?
so they're not running the whole mountain.
What?
They'll run like 3 lifts.
And only send people on like every other lift.
Yeah,
type
one
thing.
person per quad chair, some shit.
Yeah, some stupid.
They're already planning for that.
They make
They
all their
have
money
to.
off beer, dude.
Yeah,
And they
just
can't
have to-
social distance in their bars, so
God.
it's just... I feel more bad for Rangeley. Saddleback's putting
I was gonna
so
say-
much money
I was
into
gonna
their
say,
mountain.
talk about Saddleback, dude.
Yeah,
They just got going again.
yeah.
They were just gonna open up this year, and they're fucked.
I wonder how much they got into it.
God,
I was talking to my buddy
millions.
about it, and there's a lot of federal
Grant money.
like just relief money right now, so it actually may be better
As
for
far
Saddleback
as
because
development, yeah.
no, through all this coronavirus.
Well, that's what I mean, like, because I guarantee they changed the infrastructure big time. That place was so, and it hadn't been run for what, 4 or 5 years.
Right, but the infrastructure that they had to change has such a lead time to it. Like, they ordered that stuff a year ago.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's no changing that for...
Yeah. Well, that's good they can get the money then.
Yeah, they seem confident online. I
Yeah.
think their season's a go.
Sweet.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
sick.
I think they're about to give
Those will be the type
Sugarloaf
of mountains. I was gonna say those are the type of mountains that are gonna give the big mountains a run for their money
yeah.
this year.
Yep.
Because people aren't gonna want to go to the big mountains.
Yeah.
I mean, I will. I
And
don't
have
give
you
a
been
fuck,
there?
But Saddleback,
Yeah.
that was where if I didn't
I've
go to
climbed it. I
Sugarloaf,
haven't ridden it with a lift.
oh,
But
really?
it was the best skiing ever.
Dude, it was the best bar. It was the best bar.
I've
And like
looked
I
at
wasn't
beer
even
there.
a drinker when I went at those times, and that bar area is the best.
The huge.
Giant wraparound bar.
Yeah.
They
Giant.
redid that.
Really?
They redid a bunch of the lodge. I think it used to be cathedral ceilings in there, and they put a second
it was
floor.
massive.
So they made this top a second floor.
Ah, they did have the room. That room
Yeah.
was fucking huge.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It's pretty. It was. I mean,
That's close too. Way closer than the other mountains.
Rangeley.
Well, Sugarloaf.
It's got to be the same as Sugar.
No, it's like 40 minutes, right?
No.
40, 45
Hour
minutes.
and a half.
What?
Oh yeah.
It's
No
40 minutes
way.
from Farmington.
Yeah.
Well, Sugarloaf's an hour from Farmington, so.
You think that was the noise?
That was definitely the noise.
Fuck it.
What did it do?
It was crackly. Did you hear it?
In the mic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
so
weird.
It's still going though.
Not to me.
Not as bad.
I don't hear
We have a cord issue, but
I was gonna say I think that's something else.
it. Yeah. Whatever though.
But anyways,
Yeah.
back to the Borefill.
Yeah.
Yeah, we wandered through topics there for a little while.
Yeah.
we're at 2:30.
I'm ready to log
Damn.
off.
I was gonna say that was a good one. That was a fucking good one. That was
Can of worms
organic.
out.
That was fucking Reaper Ridge organic.
Yeah, it was. Thanks to Kushnock, right?
Yeah, thanks to the knock.
Yeah, send us a couple free cases.
Giant dad pants. Fucking love it. And on that note,
Until next time, I think we're shooting True Blooms next.
Yep.
And then who knows after that?
We have a big special guest after that.
Oh, yes, we do. That's
special. Some would say extra.
Right. Might get greasy.
Ooh, right in the pocket, bud.